Oh my god. What's up, Beyond Belief? Natalie, good to see you guys. You know, I was just with you, Nat. Still. Don't be terrifying any policy agents with scary tables, huh? I know. Disturbing the peace by just setting up a table and not talking to anyone in specific. Like just setting up a table and sitting down. You're disturbing the peace, right? Even though people... Sorry?
Are you about to still be here in like an hour?
I'll be here in about 2 hours. Yeah. Alright, let me rearrange my setup. I'm not gonna do the $100 challenge today, although I am gonna invoke the accelerometer into the conversation, obviously. But I'm not gonna do the $100 challenge today because I am at UCR and I am inside the campus. Now, I don't really want to draw any attention like, oh, there's monetary transactions going on now, right? So you need permission for that, to have monetary transactions, right? And you know, that could give somebody like a hook to basically try and fuck with me and, you know, eventually kick me out. Even though it is open to the public here, you know, there's literally guest parking that you have to pay for, and I obviously pay for parking when I come. It's about $10 for 2 hours. So, I mean, guests are welcome here, right? But again, if I start bringing out the $100 challenge, then now there's a monetary transaction, right? So that might not be allowed, right? So that's the reason why I'm not gonna do it here. But I'm definitely still gonna challenge the students, you know, with the accelerometer. So yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, let me just fix my slides real quick. Oh, what the fuck? It's all out of order. Okay, so what we're gonna do. Where are my questions? Probably back here. Yep, here we are. So yeah, so I'm gonna do the 2 questions today. Beyond belief. How's it going for all those that like to hate along? You found the physical measurement of downward acceleration you're running from yet? Exactly. Again, just, yeah, a bunch of trolls just hating on physics. They're hating their reality. They hate reality, right? They rather live in fantasy world, you know, of imagination, because anything is possible as long as you can imagine it, right? So that's what you would call a weak mind, you know, someone that can't take the reality, you know, can't handle the truth, in other words, right? How many of you have heard that saying? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth, right? That couldn't be more real, you know. People overestimate that quote, you know, or underestimate that quote. When in reality, it literally fits everybody. You know, everybody that denies reality, you know, anybody that denies practical physics in favor of explanations and imagination, you can't handle the truth. That's the truth, you know. So I hope people can snap out of it and basically grow up so that they can see the errors of their ways, they can see the flaws in their logic, right? And yeah, eventually you gotta put your emotions aside, because it's your emotions that are keeping you from the truth, the objective truth. Again, when we're talking about objective truths, opinions, feelings, theories, you know, all of these concepts, or, you know, are irrelevant. You know, it's literally understanding what is happening. So if something happens, well, what caused that to happen, right? So again, it's understanding cause and effect of the physical world. It's what's going to prove to you what the physical world is or what it's not. So again, if you can physically falsify somebody's claims, for example, if somebody claims to me that Santa Claus is real, right? An undeveloped mind, like a child, will accept that from an authority, from their parents or from somebody, you know, an adult that this child sees as an authority figure. So in this child's mind, they don't use any critical thinking or logic when somebody tells them that Santa Claus is real and flies and has flying reindeer and all that. The child assumes that you're telling them the truth because the child trusts you. So it's about gaining people's trust first, and then that's how you lie to them. So again, a child, again, they trust the parents, they trust the adults, they trust the authority, you know, because they haven't developed mentally. So they have to trust, you know, because it's part of growing up, it's part of learning, it's part of using logic and reason, you know. It just naturally happens. But when human beings, adults, are there to stump that growth by just telling them a bunch of lies, telling them to deny their common sense over, you know, explanations, then that's when shit starts to go down, you know. So obviously, with Santa Claus, the whole idea of Santa Claus, not only does it defy physics, but it's completely ridiculous, you know. Flying reindeer, you know, it's just all a joke, right? But a child believes it, even though it defies physics, right? Now we have grown-ass adults that believe that the Earth is a globe with a magical pulling force, right? Which literally contradicts physics. But the only difference is that everybody or the majority believe it, right? So not only do you have authority now there's a consensus. Now there's, well, the majority believe that, so I can't be that dumb, right? Well, if I'm dumb, that means everybody else is dumb too then, right? So again, it's like finding comfort in groups. That's how human psychology works. You know, that's what I'm noticing. It's human beings finding comfort in groups that think alike, you know. Or in other words, don't think in this case, right? That just accept everything they're told. So you're going to see a lot of people appealing to consensus. Literally, they will appeal to, well, the majority believes this, or, you know, must be true, or all these scientists and all of these, you know, space programs, and, you know, what are you going to say, that they're all wrong? Are you going to say they're dumb, right? So again, people appealing to authority, appealing to consensus, appealing to anything but physics. You know, anything to deny physics. And again, I get it. You know, we were born into this. We were told that we lived on a globe from when we first started thinking and questioning this reality. We were already bombarded with all this bullshit about, you know, outer space and and the moon landing, right? Well, they went to the moon. How do you explain that, right? I heard it on the radio. It must be true, right? So, yeah, it's just a lot of emotions, get in the way at the end of the day. And that's what happens, when people get an inflated ego and they start defending an idea over what can be demonstrated and repeated. In other words, something that can fall under the scientific method. If somebody has a belief against that, then yeah, you're kind of in a cult. You're in a cult. Cult members will deny the actual truth in favor of their teachings. They'll defend their teachings tooth and nail, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense. They'll still do it. So yeah, we definitely live in a cult. Religions are cults, and religions make people believe that humans can defy physics. How? Everybody, well, not everybody, but Christians, I would assume most Christians believe that Jesus walked on water, right? So a human, someone in the flesh, a human being, walked on water, defied physics, right? People believe that. But because it's a fluffy story about, it's not just any human, it was the Son of God. Well, aren't we all the Son of God, right? Based on the definition that we were all created by God. Wasn't Jesus created by God or whatever? Point being, I'm going a little off topic. Point being is people believe that you can defy physics here. The people literally believe that. That's no different than the globe earth that believes that water has the ability to curve. Or the fact that gravity can accelerate without any effects of acceleration. Not only that, without any cause as well. Without anything external pushing it. So when you have something and you release it, you need a force. What does that mean? You need something else that's already moving in that same direction that this moves to be able to make it move. So again, a force is something external that's already in motion. And now because that's already in motion, it's able to push, if this force is strong enough, obviously, it's able to push, in other words, or accelerate, something in a particular direction, in a particular vector, right? So that's what a force is. The fact that a force hasn't been physically measured, not only that, the effects of acceleration haven't physically been measured in free fall, that destroys that idea that objects accelerate down in free fall from the start. So in other words, you cannot even conceptualize a globe earth model without this idea of a pulling force. Because how are you going to explain people sticking to a ball? How are you going to explain the upwards vector, the real vector, the vector that creates our weight, buoyancy, orientation, the pressure gradient that we have here on Earth? You can't. So you have to implement this idea to people that there isn't a downwards force, a downwards flow of something, of matter. Apparently, again, a force is magnitude in motion, mass in motion. So if they're claiming a force in free fall or something that causes motion or acceleration, then they're claiming mass or magnitude in motion, which is not there. If anything is there, it's a static field. And apparently it has been measured, right? An electric static field has been measured, right? But it's in the name, it's a static field. It's not a force. Again, a force would mean that this field will have to be moving. That's what a force is. It's mass in motion, magnitude in motion. So if there is a background medium, it's not flowing, it's static. And it's the reason why matter has inertia. So again, it's literally that simple. Because matter cannot move on its own, and matter cannot slow down on its own. So again, the first law of motion, when they say an object at rest will remain at rest unless an external force to move it, The second part is, an object in motion will stay in motion unless there's an external cause. You don't need a force to slow something down, like we just stated. What's up? I'm sorry? Oh yeah, I'm definitely streaming, yeah. Well, I'm challenging the students to see if they can answer 2 very easy questions. Oh, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube.
Alright,
You guys want to give it a shot?
yeah, man.
Very easy, 2 very easy. Elementary level, literally. So, this first one, they both have to do with water, by the way. So this first one, I have 3 water bottles, and they're halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see.
Alright.
And there's obviously a red ping pong ball in there. So out of these 3 water bottles, how I'm showing them to you, what's the difference between them?
You said the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference between these water bottles that I'm showing?
I got you.
They're all at rest, by the way. All the water bottles are at rest.
Hold on. I got this. What was the question?
So what's the difference between these 3 water bottles?
This one
The
is
water's
listening to gravity. They're all like rotated, right?
okay. Yeah, it has to do with the orientation. Yeah.
So this one's upside down.
Okay, can you flip them? How they should be, I guess. Okay. All right. Do you agree with them?
Hold on. You said the water's blue, right?
Yeah. You got it.
And there's nothing in this.
That's just air.
Okay, just air. I was thinking like it was like oil or something.
No.
bro. Okay,
It's just water and air. Yeah. He got it. You wanna? I mean.
Yeah, I'm agree with that.
You can agree with that, right? What? I mean, can you explain, or how did you know? Explain to me. How did you know? I guess.
You don't get it, bro? I get it. I was just making sure there was like nothing here.
Yeah. Could we say that it has to do with the density layers? Obviously, the most dense goes to the bottom, and the less dense goes to the top.
And then, the air's always going to be on top.
Exactly. So yeah, pretty easy, you know. You guys got it. So the second one's a little bit easier. Let's see if you guys get it. So this next one, I have a box truck halfway filled with water again, but in this one, only one of the box trucks is at rest. One is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So which one is at rest?
This is at rest.
Okay, why is that one at rest?
Because it's still,
okay,
and the water's leveled out. This one's accelerating.
Yes.
Because the water's going towards the back, so if a car's moving forward, the water goes to the back.
Yes.
And this one's
reverse.
You
get the opposite effect.
It's going the opposite way.
Yeah, you got it. Perfect. So again, I can easily demonstrate that when this bottle is at rest, and it doesn't matter how fast. When it's at rest and I accelerate it, that water always displaces, right? In any direction, even when I go down, it wants to displace up because of inertia, right? You think it's possible to accelerate this across the table, which is 4 feet, in 1 second without that happening? So in other words, I accelerate, but the water remained level. You think that's possible?
No.
Without any reaction, in other words?
No.
Yeah, because for every action, there's a reaction.
Move, yeah.
Exactly. So the real reason I'm doing this is because even though we understand that water will always react to acceleration, over 98% of the population have been tricked to believing that you can actually accelerate it without the reaction. You want to know how we were tricked? No. Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball? Yeah. So when I have this, right, when I release it, do you guys believe it accelerated down towards the Earth? In other words, the gravity pulled it down to the earth. So I did it in slow motion just to prove the point. When I actually physically accelerate down versus free fall, let me show you guys this real quick. You can see that instantly when I accelerate, the one in the right, it reacts. The water reorientates because of inertia. It always pushes back in the opposite direction of acceleration.
When you accelerate, right?
Yes, when I actually accelerate. Free fall, however, there are no effects of acceleration because
it stays still.
Exactly. In other words, the water doesn't react to a force in free fall. I don't know if you guys know, gravity is just a theory. And a theory means it hasn't been physically proven. And the reason why is because matter doesn't react to acceleration in free fall. So the fact is, the Earth doesn't pull you down by a pulling force of gravity. The Earth is literally pushing up on you right now. So the pressure under your feet, it's the Earth pushing up on you. So the Earth is literally moving up like this. Yeah, so let me just say this. You guys believe the Earth is a globe, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
If up is relative on a globe, right? And up is, if you're standing here, up is that way. If you're standing here, up is this way. In other words, in every direction away from the center. If up is relative on a ball, and we can prove that the Earth is moving up, how will that work from a ball Earth? How can the Earth be moving up in all directions at the same time? The ground, exactly. How can the ground move up in every direction if it was a ball?
Because it's rotating?
Well, that would mean it's rotating. It wouldn't mean it's moving up. It would just mean the ground is moving that way.
You're saying
The ground is moving this
the
way.
ground is moving up?
Yes.
I don't know. I think the ground is just the ground.
Okay, but let's hypothetically, I'll prove it to you how we know that.
Yeah.
But if the ground was moving up, it wouldn't work from a globe, right? Because that would mean the globe Earth will have to be growing and eventually it will explode, right? Because it has to be pushing up in every direction, which means it has to be growing. So in other words, in order for people to believe that the Earth is a ball, they first have to believe in a pulling force of gravity, which has never been proven.
So you think it's flat?
It's not flat, it's level, because flat Earth, I'm gonna tell you how it's a controlled opposition. It's a false dichotomy, like the Republican versus Democrats. They're the two sides of the same coin. The flat earthers, mainstream flat Earth, by the way, they all claim the Earth is motionless. So what does that mean? They also believe that there is a magical force that accelerates in free fall without any effects of acceleration. So these flat earthers, these mainstream flat earthers, are keeping this whole idea of gravity alive, which is keeping the whole globe Earth alive. So it's a false dichotomy. So the whole flat Earth is all bullshit. The Earth is level because you know what this is, right?
Yeah, level.
What would be your definition of level?
It's just like
It's horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal.
It's perpendicular to the vertical.
Yeah.
So this is a force detection device because obviously you can detect the vertical force and putting it perpendicular to that is when it's level. Did you know that this doesn't work in free fall? So because in free fall, they're claiming that there is a vertical force accelerating you down. But if you're in free fall, like inside of a parabolic flight, like I don't know if you ever heard of zero-G planes.
I have.
Yeah, if you're inside a zero-G plane and you take one of these with you, technically it should work because you're experiencing a vertical force, supposedly, but in fact, it wouldn't work. So because there is no vertical force in free fall, there's nothing pushing you down, in other words. So again, it's literally, so another thing, you know what buoyancy is, right? What is buoyancy?
It's like has something to do with water, like
Yeah, when you have a plastic ball like this and it's being pushed up because
Yeah.
it's less dense than the water.
yeah.
So buoyancy, I don't know if you knew, buoyancy is a force. So when helium balloons go up, that is a force. So that is being pushed up in the mainstream, and even the mainstream acknowledges that. In order to recreate buoyancy, the water needs to push it. So but in order for the water to push it, the water also needs to be pushed.
That's how.
Exactly, the water can create force on its own. So look, if I move this in this direction, it pushes the ball in that same direction. Did you see that? So that's what buoyancy is. It's a chain reaction of motion. So what's pushing this up right now? The ground is pushing up the table is pushing up the bottle's pushing up the water, and the water's pushing up the ball.
Okay.
That's what buoyancy is. It's a chain reaction of motion. They're trying to tell us that gravity's moving things down, but but somehow buoyancy is able to go against gravity. That defies physics. That's like claiming you accelerate this, but the ball goes in the opposite direction. That defies physics.
So if you were to flip that upside down, would it still try to float to the top?
Yeah, because again, the force is up.
Oh.
Exactly. I can reorientate the ball again by moving the bottle in any other direction, and the ball follows that motion. Because
So
force,
it's just motion, it's
yes,
just like-
force is motion of matter.
It's like chain reaction. of motion.
Yes, it's a chain reaction. Now this is gonna trip you out. If I was to glue a slinky, right, and I recorded it, a ping pong ball to a slinky, and I put it in water, the buoyant force of the ball is gonna stretch the slinky. Here, I recorded it to show you guys. But as soon as I put it into free fall, guess what happens? That buoyant upwards push vanishes, and the slinky contracts because there's no force
'Cause there's no
acting.
force at the
Exactly.
bottom.
There's no force coming. There's no force pushing it up anymore. So what's happening is everything's already moving right now. When you release something, it slows down. So nobody knows what the speed of the Earth is. A lot of people try to say, well, what's the speed the Earth is moving at? In my opinion, it's moving at least 1,000 miles an hour up, and it's a constant because that's what creates your weight. Your body's resisting that motion. It's trying to, because of inertia. Again, the same reason why water displaces back. It's like when you're in a car and you accelerate forward, you get pushed back on your seat, but you're not being pushed by, it's the car pushing up against you.
So let's say that like magically the motion, like there's no chain reaction of motion, would we all just start floating?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so gravity is not a pull, it's a push. Because everything that has motion here, even the combustion engine, anything, it's a chain reaction of a push. So if I want to move this, I have to literally physically press on it to create pressure. That's the only way to create pressure. It's something pushing on something else. Now they're trying to say that pull can create motion, but how can you pull something without applying pressure? How can you move something without applying any pressure?
Okay.
You can. That defies physics. So that's why they have to make people believe in gravity can do that, but in reality that defies physics. And that's why gravity is always just going to be a theory. Because the fact is the Earth literally moving up, and that's where the motionless flat earthers come in to literally just throw everybody off. And that's why, in my opinion, flat Earth is mainstream. but only these motherfuckers that are telling lies still. They're all controlled opposition. They're all part of the globe still. They're just pushing this idea so it could slow it down. I'm literally, out of like the millions of flat earthers supposedly, I'm literally right now the only one coming out and representing this in public. I know that might surprise you, but it's literally that censored. If I wasn't out here doing this, there's nobody else doing it.
What do you get from doing it?
Nothing. I actually lose money doing this. I take off a day of work and I have to pay gas and parking. I actually lose money doing this. I don't ask for any donations because my channel is super censored anyway. I have a feeling that if I did start doing that, they're gonna they're gonna cut off my, they're gonna basically not make it so that I can do this full time. I would love to do this full time, but I have to pay rent. I have to pay bills. I'm part of the slave system as well. So I'm doing this to try and help people out so we can get out of this.
Educating us.
Exactly, because the reason why everything's so shit right now is because everybody just believes everything we're told. So a lot of people say, well, what difference does it make if the Earth is a globe or not? Well, it's not about the shape of the Earth. It's about common sense. If they could get you to deny your practical reality over stories, then you're going to be easily swayed into systems of living. Well, money has this much value and we just accept it. We just accept everything we're told. And that's why everybody's living miserable, the majority. There's a small percent that is living good, but it's because they're taking advantage of the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, physics is what shows us that the globe Earth is impossible. So all these motionless flat earthers online, they don't even talk about physics, which is weird. I always trip out like, why the fuck don't they talk about physics? They talk about flight paths, they talk about the sun and the stars and how it doesn't fit each model. But again, that's just a false dichotomy. They're debating ideas back and forth, which have nothing to do with physics.
None of it's been proven.
Exactly. What has been proven is the cause and effect of acceleration. To have acceleration, you require a force. You require something external to that matter to make it accelerate. Matter cannot accelerate on its own, especially without any effects of acceleration, which is pressure. Yes. Yes. And force only exists as a push. Pull doesn't exist as a force. They're claiming I can move this without touching it and without any effects of acceleration. In other words, they're claiming I can move this without any reaction. But that's retarded. It's retarded. It's always going to react. So look, I could show you ping pong ball and free fall versus acceleration. I actually really like this one. I'll show you both of these. Which one did I accelerate down? Left or right?
So which one accelerated down?
Yeah, which one accelerated down? Which one reacted to the acceleration?
Oh, right.
Exactly. The ping pong ball got pushed down, and then the steel ball, because of inertia, it appeared to move up. So I inverted density and buoyancy. And in free fall, there is no effects whatsoever.
They just stay the same.
They just stay the same, exactly.
Because there's no force.
There's no force.
Okay,
exactly.
I understand it.
Yeah. So again, the biggest lie on Earth is that, not even the globe Earth, is that people believe objects accelerate down in free fall, because even flat earthers believe that. And I get a lot of hate from these flat earthers. Even though I'm exposing the globe, they still hate on me. Again, it's part of, I say a lot of these accounts online that try to antagonize or talk shit, they're all part of the control, in my opinion. They're all sock puppet accounts. In my opinion, I think like there's agents, like definitely, commenting and trying to instigate people's opinions and trying to sway people's opinions in the comment section. But I always have open panels too on my channel to invite these trolls in, and they never come in. They all run away. You know what I'm saying? So again, physical reality is what's gonna debunk all these liars. In other words. Yeah. You guys have any questions for me about this topic?
No, I just learned a lot. That's actually something.
No, yeah. Again, buoyancy proves that the Earth is moving up. Without the Earth's push, you don't have buoyancy. Again, and I did it with a helium balloon too. Look, I know I did it with a ping pong ball and water, but look, a helium balloon inside a box. As soon as I release it, that upwards push vanishes, and the slinky retracts because the helium balloon's not being pushed up anymore.
It's actually pretty dope.
No, yeah. It's pretty interesting, man. Like it's a. Have you heard of this topic before, like flat Earth? I'm pretty sure you've heard.
I have, but I just never really took it into consideration because they're just arguing about.
Yeah, about stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. Exactly. They start talking about history too.
I don't want to sit and listen to all this.
Yes.
This is pretty dope.
That's called muddying the waters. So I literally just focus on these simple, practical things that debunk it. Yeah. All these other controlled opposition, motionless flat earthers are talking about nonsense, which turns people off.
Yeah, I kind of just I'd walk away if that happened.
Yes, it's mind-numbing. That shit fucking, trust me, I watch that shit, I can't even sit through it. Yeah. So yet alone somebody like yourselves that, that's barely coming into it, of course is going to turn you off. That's the whole point. So again, this is the biggest topic on Earth, literally, because it's the easiest to prove, and that's why it's the most censored.
What's your channel?
Here, I'll give it to you guys. So this is my channel. I do open panels as well, so anybody can join her if they want to have a chat with me. But yeah, you guys can give it a look. Here, I'll give you guys one each. You can check this out.
I'll just
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can take that. I have plenty. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is literally, I came across this topic 8 years ago, and I didn't come across the motion of the Earth till like 2 years ago. So that's how censored the motion of the Earth is, because that debunks gravity as a pulling force. So those are the 6 top proofs that debunk the globe, on top of the number 1, which is that the Earth is literally pushing up.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, man. And what do you guys think? I mean, you think it's possible that we have been lied to, or do you guys like 100% believe that the Earth is a globe?
I mean, it could be possible that we've been lied to.
Let me ask you guys this one question before you guys go. What's the number 1 proof that maybe convinces you that the Earth is a ball? What's the number 1 thing?
satellite photos.
Satellite photos. Okay. Anything else? Is that it? Or
How do you prove that the sun, like we are rotating around the sun as a flat Earth?
All right, we got to get to class, but
Yeah.
this is actually, I liked it. What's
no,
your
yeah,
name?
William.
William,
Yeah,
sorry.
appreciate the chat, man.
That
yeah.
was nice.
Yeah, thank you, man. There you go. You'll be able to see yourself, man. So yeah, check it out.
How do you think like the Earth being flat rotates around the sun?
So the sun, the whole the heliocentric model that we're told about the solar system, that's all it's not how we're being told. So the sun is not 93 million miles away, and it's not 500,000 miles in diameter. The sun is part of the Earth system. So the Earth is like a terrarium, and all the luminaries in the sky are part of that system. So the Earth is a contained system. So what's outside of the Earth, they try to tell us it's outer space and other planets. The fact is, nobody knows what's outside of the Earth.
Then
So
how does day and night happen?
yeah, because the sun is very tiny and very close to the Earth. So it's like a spotlight that moves around the Earth. So the sun is very tiny in comparison to the Earth. So it can't illuminate the whole thing.
The sun rotates around the Earth. Isn't it?
Around the Earth. The Earth doesn't rotate around the sun.
Okay.
It's the
So
opposite.
if that happens, like this is the flat surface of the Earth, alright? Okay, just
Yeah, it
this
is
is
right
the
here.
flat surface. How do you like this is the sun?
Okay, so the sun, if this is the whole Earth, the sun's barely, like, if we're talking about scale, if this is just the Earth, this table, then the sun is barely off the surface of the Earth like this.
Okay.
So somebody all the way over here is not going to be able to see it, because we do have a limit of perspective. We can't see forever. So we do have a limit to how far we
But
can
if you say
see.
that the Earth is flat, the limit of perspective doesn't matter there.
Well, it
The
does,
limit of
because
perspective is
you believe the
constant.
sun is way high, but it's not.
No, but if like imagine Earth was flat, you could see till infinity.
No, because we do have a limit of how far we can see. For example, if I hold this in front of you and I move it away from you, are you going to be able to see it forever?
You don't have that. If it's that bright, the limit of limit of perspective doesn't matter.
You should look
Well,
at visual acuity.
Do you accept that sun gives out light? Like it doesn't reflect light, it gives out light.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
sure.
that you accept.
Sure,
Then
yeah, it
the
gives out
only-
light somehow. Yeah.
The only limit which you could have like said that object is so far that you cannot see just because it doesn't emit light. But since sun, you only accepted that sun emits light. There's no point, there's no point until which you can't see as long as it emits light. You can see the stars. How far are they?
I wouldn't say they're trillion miles away. I would say the stars. Here, let me show you. People have zoomed into them very close with the Nikon P900. Have you heard of that camera? It can zoom in 83 times, and I can show you what the stars actually look like.
My phone can zoom 10 times.
10 times?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me show you. Oh, I just had them right now. Oh, here they are. So this is what the stars look like when you zoom into them. Look at that. They're just twinkling lights, and it looks like they're rippling in water. You know. So this is what they're trying to tell us is terra firma, which is retarded in my opinion. So again, the planets are no different. Look, so this is what Mars looks like, but this is what they show us. They show us a CGI image. You know what CGI is, right? It's a cartoon. So in reality, the stars and planets are the same thing. The only difference between the stars and the planets is that the planets have their own unique paths. That's what they called wandering stars. They used to be called wandering stars, and that's where the word planet comes from. So nobody knows what they actually are.
What is Nikon P900?
That's a powerful zoom camera that uses optical zoom.
Okay, what do you think? Like from here till there, the optical path will have a lot of obstructions. This is like the best that they could have obtained.
Right. My point is that any telescope
can you
that
see beyond the clouds? Right.
no, but on a clear sky, obviously, you'll be able
Yeah,
to see
but
them.
can you tell me are there any stars in the sky right now?
Right now, probably, but just
There
that
are,
obviously the light pollution doesn't let
but
you see that.
since stars don't emit light, you cannot see them. Sun emits light, you can see them.
Yeah, my point is that the stars are not far away because we wouldn't be able to zoom into them this close. They would still look like a white dot if they were truly light years away.
Resolution comes in there won't be a resolution details in those cameras because it's after all just a commercial camera. It's not like a telescopic camera.
I guess my point is looking at the lights in the sky tells us nothing about the physical dimensions of the ground we're walking on.
Then exactly explain how the sun rotates around the planet.
Well, it's just again, looking at the sun proves nothing about the surface of the Earth. You want to know how we debunk that the Earth is not a globe? So the globe Earth claims to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth, and they do tell us the radius of the Earth, and I'll show you. It's 3,959 mile radius. So using a simple calculation like this, a Pythagorean theorem, we can take the radius, the distance over we're measuring, and then we can calculate for the curvature. So using a simple formula like this, with they're trying to tell us that the surface of water, if we went to a lake, is bending 6 feet in 3 miles based on the curvature rate they're telling us. But the fact is, the physics of water, when contained and at rest, always levels out, which forms a horizontal surface. That's what level means. So it's a physical impossibility for water level to maintain a hump, because again, the water will always collapse.
How do you get this level structure?
Instruments, basically, we create it, we build it, we build a level
How
structure.
long? Is that structure like
3 miles. So the water should deviate 6 feet in 3 miles, and
How
60.
did you make a 3-mile structure which is not?
You know what a plumb line is? You guys know what a plumb line is? So whether you believe in a globe Earth or a flat Earth or a level Earth, plumb line is always going to be the same. It's a vertical, which is perpendicular to. So if we start from a plumb line and build a level structure relative to the starting plumb line, we should technically build a horizontal structure. So if we build a physical horizontal structure over a body of water, that's going to show us that the water's not deviating, because water's the #1 tool for measuring level, for measuring horizontal. But they're trying to tell us that water level means curve, which defies physics. This is the #2 proof, by the way, that debunks the globe. The #1 proof is the fact that there is no physical downwards acceleration in free fall. In other words, gravity as a force doesn't exist. It doesn't pull objects down. It's the Earth that's literally moving up. So when you release an object in free fall, the object didn't move down to the Earth. It's the Earth that moved up to the object.
Oh, it's a relative.
Well, yeah, you could say it's relative, but we do have instruments that can detect acceleration. So this will be considered an accelerometer, a buoyant object inside of water. Why? Because when it's at rest and I accelerate it in any direction, the object inside will always react to acceleration 100% of the time. 100% of the time. However, when we go to free fall versus acceleration, the one on the right, I actually accelerated down, so the ping pong ball gets pushed down instantly. The one on the left, however, doesn't react to a force because there is no force in free fall. Here, you guys can see how I did it right here. The one on the right, I actually accelerated down, and you see the reaction of matter. The one on the left didn't react to that force in free fall because there is no force. And that's why gravity is just a theory. Nobody's ever measured a physical downwards acceleration. It's all optical, it's all relative. But when we go to physics, physics shows us that it's the Earth moving up. So if we could prove that it's the Earth moving up to the object and not the object moving down to the Earth, and up is relative on a ball, how can the Earth be moving up on a ball simultaneously? You know, it wouldn't work.
I'm still unclear. So, what is the activity? What are we trying to claim?
Well, the Earth is not a globe. That's the main point of this table. Is that the Earth is a level. It's a level plane.
It's a level plane.
It's a level plane. It's not motionless, which is the mainstream flat Earth. All mainstream flat Earth channels talk about a motionless Earth, which they also believe in a downwards pull of gravity. They call it electrostatics, though, but that force doesn't exist in free fall. I would say the flat Earth and the globe Earth.
So if the Earth is flat, what is on the other side?
Under the Earth? Well, the Earth is a contained system. We have 14.7 psi here on Earth, or here on sea level. In order to maintain pressure, you need a solid barrier, a container. So if you want to maintain the air tire pressure in your car, in your tire, you need that. You can't have a hole. It needs to have a solid barrier maintaining that air pressure. So the fact that Earth has air pressure, it needs a solid barrier as well. So nobody's been outside of the Earth.
Okay, so where is these barriers?
What is that?
I mean, you just claim.
You're saying like there should be walls, right? In order to store the water or whatever. In order to make it a contained system.
Yeah, the Earth is a contained system for sure. Nobody's been to the container though. Maybe the government has with military, and that's why they created NASA, to just lie to everybody. But nobody that I know, any civilian, has ever been to the container itself. I think there is a container. Some people will say that Earth is infinite. Some motionless flat earthers will say it's infinite, but that's retarded.
Okay, so I think this is a valid experiment, but I mean, I was wondering,
Yes.
where did you guys build these structures?
It hasn't been built.
Hasn't been built.
Yeah, this is a. I mean, it has because you know blueprints, right? When construction, when they build bridges, when they set railroad tracks, they utilize Euclidean geometry. Have you guys heard of
I know. I mean, I'm a professor of physics and math.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
So
so
I
Euclidean
was-
geometry was used.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering, so this has not yet been built, right?
Well, not this one in specific, but any blueprints. It doesn't matter the distance.
Yeah.
All the blueprints are gonna show plumbs and levels. They're not gonna show curves.
I mean, I was curious. So if you guys have done this, then I will be more interested to
Yes.
see the data.
Yes. Oh yeah, I would love. This is.
Is this in the near future?
Hopefully, the mainstream will never talk about this though. You know what they'll talk about?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the design of the experiment is
Makes
valid.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, until we see the data,
Well, let me just tell you this.
it's unsure, right?
Well, that's the thing. Again, I would say it's there, but again, I guess I don't need this experiment to understand physics, in my opinion. But I would like to see a big build, I guess, for people like yourself that want to actually see it.
I would say this is a valid experiment, but the thing is,
Do you think this is what water's doing? I guess in a lake.
yeah, I mean, so you are trying to, distinguish between the two pictures.
Sure.
Okay, and then you design the experiment. I say the experiment is valid. The idea is valid, but you haven't show us any data.
Right. Well, the data is in understanding how water behaves. Water doesn't have the ability to hump and maintain a shape on the surface.
But this is too small to tell.
It doesn't matter the scale. You got to show me that it is possible.
No. I mean. So let's say.
I'm saying it's impossible.
The radius of the Earth is too large. So only on the, like, say, few miles scale can you tell if there's a bending or not. So.
Well, in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet. You know how tall 66 feet? That's 6-story building. That's like 2 of these combined in 10 miles.
But I mean, but within this short distance, it's very hard to tell.
But
right?
you know that there's lakes that are easily over 10 miles, over 20 miles across.
That is also a really small scale. 10 miles is nothing.
No. Sure. But there should be 66 feet in 10 miles based on the radius they're telling us. 66 feet of curvature. That should be measurable if we build a structure over it. So in other words, the water should deviate down 66 feet from the level. That's that.
If it is round.
If
right.
it's round.
So then I mean, that was actually my point. So this seems to be a very significant effect. So
obviously this is not
show
the
us
scale.
your data. I mean, I'm open to any idea, but the thing is, you have to have real data.
Well,
right?
I would say the number one proof at the end of the day is the fact that gravity doesn't exist. Without the pulling force of gravity, the globe Earth doesn't even exist.
Even within the current understanding of physics, gravity is relative. So actually, there's no concept of gravity within general relativity.
So you accept that it's just a theory. It hasn't been proven.
I mean, everything in physics, literally speaking, is a theory. But
let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
No.
Is it a theory that if you breathe water, are you gonna drown?
Let us just focus on this experiment.
No. But if you're saying physics is a theory, I would say you're going into like a path you don't want to go down, because will fire burn you?
Okay, so
that's not a theory.
No. So here is there's good theory, there's a bad theory, and the only way
there's physics.
Right. I mean, if it's obviously in any disciplines, right? You have a good theory, you have a bad theory,
Sure.
but the only thing to tell if it is good or bad is whether it conforms with
if it's true or not. I wouldn't say if it's good or bad.
Right,
if it's true
or not.
Yeah.
If it is consistent with a real experiment.
Yes.
Suppose you're then legitimate experiment,
yes.
right? So I would say this is a legitimate design, but
sure.
I mean, we'd like to see data, right?
No, yeah.
If you can show us the data, okay. So the data more looks like this than this, then you can make a good point.
Okay, let me tell you this. You know how much NASA gets every day in funding? $70 million.
I know. I have a colleague working in NASA.
No, let me tell you this. If they truly wanted to prove this curvature, they can easily build this structure with $1 million. That's less than
physically not possible to make a 3-mile structure.
I mean, it is. If we keep it perpendicular to the
cantilever beam.
Yeah, mechanically, it's
not going to be 100%. I get that. It might be over 98% accurate or 99.
It will collapse on its own.
No. We're going to build support beams across the way, and then we're going to use very light materials.
The experiment itself fails. You are supposed to make a cantilever beam. You were saying, right? Cantilever beam is like supported at one end.
So are you saying that Earth's curvature cannot be physically measured?
Well, it can be
I'm
made.
It can be, right?
If you,
It should be.
If you make support beams,
Yeah.
then it will anyways
No,
take to the subject.
we're keeping it relative to the starting point. So it doesn't matter how long the support beams are, as long as the squares or the whatever material we're using, it stays relative to the starting point, and that's how we can maintain it
No,
level.
I mean the idea is legitimate.
Yeah,
but
I like
think
that you're saying that.
as he just pointed out, so mechanically speaking, for 3 miles, unbending, that's mechanically very unstable.
But
so you have to
we're not
have
just gonna have a beam
intermediate.
straight out, and of course it's gonna bend under its own weight. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have support beams all the way to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure it doesn't do that.
Mhm.
It might happen very slightly, but we can account for that. In other words, you're still not gonna get this drastic curvature they're telling us that's there because it does. The water will not show that.
No, I mean without real data,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
again,
think this-
I would say this is still number 2 proof because without the pulling
Okay.
force of gravity, you can't conceptualize a globe.
okay. So do you guys have a website?
Yeah. Here, let me give you my channel, and I have open panels all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have open
What is
panels,
this?
and I invite. I mean, if you want to join my open panel one time, maybe you find something that I missed, you can join it all the time. But I do it in the night, my open panels, because I have kids. But I do open panels usually around 10 p.m., maybe once a week. And I invite anybody that wants to come on to prove the globe Earth or a stationary flat Earth, because I'm completely against the stationary flat Earth as well, because that's no different than the globe. They both claim a physical downwards acceleration in free fall, which doesn't exist. Here, let me give you a flyer if you want to.
What is this?
Check it out.
This value?
So that's
Okay.
the x square it's this. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So c squared will be x squared. So once we solve for x squared, we find the square root of x squared to gives us x. Once we solve for x, we deduct the radius, and that leaves us with the d, which is the drop. So it's a very simple formula to calculate for the curvature. But they never teach us this in school. They just tell us the numbers because...
That's wrong.
How is it wrong?
X minus R is drop.
X minus r is drop, yeah.
You've
X
written like
minus
X
r.
square minus R.
I know, I was supposed to do the square root first. Yeah, I missed that step. But yeah, you have to find the square root of x first, and that leaves you with x. And then you subtract d from x. Yeah. So yeah, this is a very, very easy formula that a child can understand it, maybe in middle school, maybe even in 5th grade, who knows. But yeah, I mean, this is it. This is physics. You know, physics doesn't lie. People do at the end of the day. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I appreciate the
join
chat.
one of your
Yeah.
panels.
Is that what you have, like, the Are You Smarter Than Fifth Graders?
Exactly, because it's
So-
very easy to understand.
It's like, so your whole thing is just like about physics and
Yes.
trying to like prove how the Earth is like, or
It's physically impossible for the Earth to be a globe. Because first, the globe Earth relies on the idea that objects accelerate down in free fall. So when I release this, people believe there's a force pulling it down to the Earth. But the fact is, this device here debunks that claim because this device will be considered an accelerometer because when it's at rest, and no matter the speed, but as soon as I move it, the ball reacts. It moves relative to the direction of the force. You know, it reacts. But when we compare acceleration down versus free fall, this is what it looks like. When I actually accelerate down, which is the one on the right, again, instantly the ping pong ball gets pushed down and the dense object moves up because of inertia. The one on the left, however, they're trying to tell us it's accelerating down without any effects of acceleration. That defies physics. To claim that the one in the left is accelerating down defies physics. And that's why gravity is always going to be a theory, because there is no force that's causing any acceleration down, because we'll see the effects of acceleration and they're not there. So the fact is, again, buoyancy shows you the direction the force is being applied. Because again, when I move that in that direction, look where the ball moves. It also moves that way. So again, buoyancy is a chain reaction of a force. So something else has to be moving it, but it has to be moving in the same direction. So right now, if I cut the string, what direction does the ball move?
I don't know.
It moves up. Exactly. And why does it move up? Because the water's pushing it up. But the water can't push itself. So what's pushing up the water? The container. And what's pushing up the container? The table. And what's pushing up the table? The ground. So when something's connected to the earth, you're going to experience an upwards push. That's what it is. So you're not being pulled down to the earth right now. It's literally the earth pushing up right now on you. So that's the reality. And that debunks the globe. Why? Because if we could prove that it's the ground moving up, literally pushing up against you, and and up is relative on a ball, how can the earth be moving up simultaneously if it was a ball? It wouldn't work, because that would mean the earth will have to be expanding and it basically explodes. So in order for people to believe that the earth is a ball, they first have to believe in the downwards acceleration. And that's where the motionless flat earth comes in. So all these mainstream flat earthers that talk about the flat earth, they all claim the earth is motionless, which means when you release an object, it's the object moving down as well. So they're keeping this whole false dichotomy alive with the globe. It's no different. So the Earth is level because level is an orientation, and in order for something to have orientation, it needs to be moving. You need a force to have orientation. So yeah. Well, what do you think? Where you go? I mean,
that's really interesting. Like I never thought about it that way.
Exactly.
It's like I don't really think about like anything like conceptual like that.
Yeah.
So you know.
No, yeah. I mean, this is
interesting
physics.
theory,
I would say
yeah.
the globe Earth is conceptual. You know, the globe Earth theory relies on the theory that objects accelerate down in free fall, but that's not the reality. You know, the reality is the Earth pushing up. You know, that's the force. It's a push, not a pull, of the Earth.
Well, I'll probably check you out then.
Yeah,
Like,
you have my
for
flyer.
the-
All right, perfect. Yeah, check it out, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. Yeah, take care. Whew. Whew. I kind of got my brain warmed up a bit, that's for sure. All right, let me put this away real quick before somebody else comes. Again, I almost didn't want to come out today, but I was like, I mean, I don't have another day off in the next week, so I was like, damn, if I don't go out today, I'm gonna have to wait another week. So kind of forced myself to come out today, but yeah, like I said, that's the hardest part of doing this, is actually having the will to go out and do it. Again, because once you're out here and set up and everything, it's easy. You know, you're just waiting now for somebody to come up to the table. You know, you're just speaking your mind like usual. Well, at least for me, you know, I'm always thinking about this. I'm always trying to better my approach, or, you know, trying to fix maybe some of the flaws that I've said before, or some, you know, correct myself. You know, again, if you could prove me wrong, I don't have an ego where I need to defend, especially if you can show me that I'm wrong physically. If you can prove to me physically that I am wrong, I would thank you. I would not get mad at you. I would not attack you. That's weird. I would literally thank you. Like, oh shit. That's part of the reason why I appreciate Dell's work. You know, I didn't, you know, when I started listening to Dell, I didn't just believe everything he said. I actually had to think about it. I had to, you know, actually try to break it in my head, you know. But I never had any hate towards him. Like, that's weird, you know, especially if he's remaining objective, you know. And then it just takes a lot of contemplation, a lot of thinking, a lot of reason, and eventually it clicks, you know. And once it clicks, it's like, holy shit. You could only feel appreciation for someone that brought it to your attention, if anything. So people that hate on me or hate that I'm presenting this, it's like, you're weird, bro. You're fucking weird. That's fucking weird that you're getting triggered at physics. It's not like I'm giving my opinion. I'm literally showing what happens, you know, with cause and effect of acceleration. And then people are claiming acceleration in free fall, yet we don't have a cause or an effect. But yet people get triggered at me? That's fucking weird, man. It fucking trolls, man. It's fucking annoying in a way because they are slowing it down. But fuck. Like, oh my god. Pathetic. It's a fucking pathetic. You know? It's annoying. What's more annoying is that people actually believe it. You know, people actually believe all that nonsense about acceleration and free fall. Oh, because RDD, or because my guru said so. Oh, because, you know, he went over a 1,000-page book that says electrostatics is real or gravity is real. Like, get the fuck out of here. If your fucking claims cannot be recreated or demonstrated in a practical way, then it's fucking bullshit. You know? And again, the motionless flat Earth and globe Earth both claim acceleration without effects of acceleration, which is fucking retarded. Not only that, without a force. Again, you need something external that's already moving in that direction to be able to move objects in that direction. So if you're claiming a vector down, then there had to be something else that was already in motion to push objects down. The fact is that that doesn't exist. It's literally the Earth is already in motion, up. So when you were born already moving. When you were when you were baking, you know, in your mom's stomach, you were already in motion. So when you were birthed, you were already in motion. Everything's in motion. Nothing is motionless. So when something is not connected to the Earth, in other words, it's not being pushed up by the Earth, it starts to decelerate. It starts to lose momentum. And that's why there is no displacement, because there is no acceleration. It's a visual interpretation based on people's beliefs, because people want to believe in these ideas that they were told about the Earth, and that's why people believe that, and that's why people go against physics, because their ego is involved now, their emotions are involved, you know. So it's literally that simple. They literally inverted everything. They inverted the physics, and they inverted they're inverting the explanations, which again, I think explanations without a practical is meaningless, but at the end of the day, they're inverting what's happening, the cause and effect. They're making up stories now. You know, people need to snap out of it. You know, until then, everything's gonna be shit. You know, so I don't even want to drink water, especially because it's cold right now, a little bit cold. Drinking water is gonna make me want to pee more. But here's another thing I was thinking about. I guess might as well highlight it. So when water has pressure, for example, right? If you have a water bottle resting like this, right? It has pressure, right? But if I want to reorientate the pressure gradient, right, or the pressure within the water, in other words, have to push it in a particular direction, right? Here's the thing. If you apply pressure on this, but not enough to move it, guess what? That pressure is not going to be transferred to the water. In order for the pressure to be transferred to the water from the bottle has to be also moving. In other words, the bottle has to be moving in order to push on the water to create the pressure. That's the only way you're going to be able to reorientate the pressure gradient or even create pressure in a water bottle, for example. It's by literally moving the container. Because without that motion of the container pushing on the water, you're not going to have pressure. You can't have pressure without motion. The bottle literally needs to be pushing up against the water so that the water can have pressure. So when it's at rest here right now, there is pressure inside the water bottle, in the water. There is pressure, meaning the bottle is moving right now. It has to be. Again, you cannot transfer the pressure force if the bottle doesn't move. Again, you could apply pressure on it, but if it's not enough to move it, it's not going to transfer over to the water. So the water won't have any pressure. But guess what? When it's at rest here on Earth, it does have pressure. And the only way to have pressure in water is for the container to be moving, to be pushing up against it. And what direction is that force? Well, put a buoyant object inside of the water when it has pressure, and whatever direction the buoyant object moves, that's the direction that the bottle is moving in space. It's literally that simple. So again, put a ping pong ball in here, it's gonna go up. That shows you the gradient. The less dense is going towards the less pressure area. You can't have buoyancy without a pressure gradient, because buoyancy follows where there's the least amount of pressure, which is away from the push source. So again, the push is coming from my hand right now, below. It's pushing up right now. Again, just because everything is moving and it appears to be motionless relative to relative to us here, that doesn't mean it's not moving. That means everything is moving together. And it just looks like it's motionless. But how do we know it is moving? Because the water has pressure, and you cannot create pressure in water unless the container is also moving in that same direction that the buoyant object gets pushed in. Again, in free fall, I'll show this video. Again, I want to show this how there is no pressure or pressure gradient in free fall. Let me see, where is it? I'll play that video. Might as well we wait for someone. Okay, I'll play this one. I'm sure all of you have seen this, or most of you. For the ones who haven't, I just want to make the point that in free fall there is no pressure or a pressure gradient, because it's not being pushed, but
in this experiment, I'll just be using a water bottle. I drilled 3 holes vertically on the side to measure the difference of the water pressure when it's filled. When the bottle is filled with water and connected to the earth, we can detect that there is a force present. We know that there is a force present because the water has pressure, weight, and it's being pushed out of the holes. The water cannot create pressure, weight, or push itself without an external force. We can also see that the water is being pushed out of the 3 holes with 3 different pressures, showing that there is a pressure gradient. The first hole at the top is experiencing the least amount of pressure from the 3 because it has the least amount of mass or weight above it pushing down. which causes the water to be pushed out of the hole the shortest distance. The second hole to the bottom is experiencing more pressure than the first hole because it has more mass or weight above it pushing down, therefore the water is being pushed out further. The third hole at the bottom is experiencing the most amount of pressure from the three because it has the most amount of mass or weight above it pushing down, which causes the water to be pushed out the furthest. However, as soon as I release the water bottle into free fall, the pressure gradient or weight column completely vanishes and is no longer pushing the water out of the holes, showing that there isn't a force present. No force in free fall means there's no acceleration.
You guys want to get this a shot? Super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Two easy questions about water. See if you guys can get them. They're multiple choice too. So.
Is there a prize?
Sorry?
Is there a prize?
Prize? No. Prize is knowledge. You learn
it's
something.
just information. I like that.
Yeah. So I have a water bottle here, halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see. So another thing to note is that all of these water bottles are at rest. But how I'm showing you these three water bottles, what's the difference between them? There's a ping pong ball in there too. That's the red ball. What's the difference between these three water bottles? How I'm showing them to you.
Okay, like obviously there's differences.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
I'll give you guys a hint. It has to do with orientation. You guys know what orientation is? Or position in space, I guess you could say, of its position in. You guys still can't tell what the difference is?
I think we know what the difference is, but like,
You know what the difference is? What is the difference between these three water bottles?
well, like, are we talking like a scientific answer or just a visual difference?
Well, I guess you could say scientific answer, sure.
Then we probably don't know the scientific answer.
Well,
We just are looking at visual differences.
okay, let's say visual then. What's
Yeah.
the visual differences?
What was the question? Position.
What's the difference? Well, I have three water. Let's see if you can get it. I have three water bottles here, and I painted the water blue with food coloring, so it's halfway filled with water. So I want to see if you guys can tell what the difference is. How I'm showing these three water bottles. What's the difference between all water bottles?
This one's upside down.
Yes.
This one's normal.
Yes.
This one's on the side.
Yes. How did you know that?
The ball's going.
Yeah, because of the density layers. You can't have water stick to the side of the bottle like this. Water always goes to the lowest point, and the air always goes to the top. So again, this would defy physics if it was right side up. So you got it. It was on its side.
That was the most obvious answer.
Yeah, it was. You guys were overthinking it. I
That's
think.
why it's already smarter than a fifth grader.
So we just
All right, one more question and see if you guys can get it.
But
This
I
one's-
think it's only because Damon's intelligence is average.
Okay, the second one. So a box truck halfway filled with water again, except in this one, only one of the trucks is at rest. One is accelerating forward and one is accelerating in reverse. Which one's at rest?
rest forward. And
Okay, why is this one at rest?
Because it's not moving.
Exactly. Why is this one forward?
Because we go forward, water goes, like stuff goes backwards.
Why does water go back, do you think, when you accelerate forward? Because that is true.
Because of the force is like going forward, and the force pulling it back.
I would say that's inertia because of inertia. Yeah, inertia is the resistance to motion, right?
Yeah.
So when you accelerate in a car, you get pushed back to the seat, but there is no force pushing you back to the seat. It's the seat coming back to push you.
And this one like is stopping because like
Well, I would say that one's in reverse, but it could also be stopping. But if I was to tell you which one's reversing, it would have to be this one. Obviously. Again, you think it's possible when this bottle's at rest to accelerate it across the table in 1 second without that displacement? You think that's possible? No, right? That defies physics. To accelerate this and the water remain level, right? Because even if I accelerate down, the water always reacts. So the real reason I'm doing this is because over 95% of the population have been tricked into believing that acceleration without any effects of acceleration is possible. But that defies physics. You guys want to know how we were tricked? You guys believe the Earth is a ball? Right? Yeah. So when I'm holding this and it's at rest and I release it, you guys believe accelerated down to the Earth? You think gravity pulled it down to the Earth? Yeah, right? So when I actually accelerate, physically accelerate versus free fall, I did a little here in slow motion so I could show you guys the difference. So when I actually accelerate, like the one on the right, instantly the water reacts to that acceleration. It pushes in the opposite direction you accelerate because of inertia. The one on the left doesn't react whatsoever. And it doesn't matter how high you drop it. So even if they claim it accelerated at 100 miles an hour from zero, the water's not going to react to that acceleration because there is no physical downwards acceleration that's ever been measured. Do you guys know gravity is just a theory? Do you know what a theory is, right? Yeah. The theory is something, it means that it hasn't been physically proven. It means it's just somebody's imagination. So the fact that objects don't accelerate down in free fall, it's literally the Earth that's moving up to the object. So you're not being pulled down to the Earth, it's the Earth pushing up against you right now. So the Earth
is pushing up.
Yes, so we're standing on the Earth like this, and it's literally moving up like that, and it's pushing up against you. And because of inertia, your body resists motion. That's why you have weight.
Is yours not a theory either?
No, it's practical physics. It's based on inertia and the laws of motion. So that's what debunks gravity, and that's why gravity is just a theory.
So you think we're flat?
Well, it's level. Flat earthers, again, this is a false dichotomy with flat earth and the globe, and this is why they're the same thing. Over 95% of flat earthers, again, the mainstream flat earth, they all claim the earth is motionless. Which means, yes, when you release an object, they also believe in a magical force that can accelerate without any effects of acceleration. That's the false dichotomy. That's like the Republican versus Democrats. That's the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So that's how they're controlling this information. So this is the real fact, that the Earth is literally pushing up, and that debunks the whole idea of gravity, which debunks the whole globe Earth model. Because the globe Earth is just a model.
So
it's not reality.
Like,
it's a concept. The Earth is a level plane, and nobody knows the full dimensions of how far it extends. But in my opinion, it is a contained system. So it's being contained somehow because we have air pressure. So at sea level, we have 14.7 psi, and it's maintaining that pressure. In order to maintain air pressure, the air needs to be also being maintained, or contained, in other words. So again, they're saying that gravity is maintaining the air, which is retarded because there is no pulling force of gravity. Yeah. It's literally a physical container that's contained. So the Earth is like a terrarium, and we're literally inside of it, and we're moving. And that's what gravity is a push of the Earth, not a pull. Pulling forces don't exist. Because the pulling force of gravity claims you can accelerate an object without applying any pressure on it. But we understand that if you want to move any object, you need to apply pressure.
Yeah. But what about like if you were to like, have you seen those videos where you toss a ball over like a deep dam?
Yeah.
And it accelerates that?
Well, it's a loss of momentum. So if everything's moving right now, let's say at 1,000 miles an hour, we're all moving at constant 1,000 miles an hour. As soon as this is not feeling that upwards push anymore, it starts to lose that 1,000 miles an hour. So it goes to 99.9, 99.8. So it appears to go down, but it's because the Earth is catching up to it again. And then the more it loses momentum, the faster it's going to catch up. Does that make sense?
The more it loses momentum.
Yes, the faster the Earth is going to catch up. And so it appears that this accelerates down, but it's because it's decelerating. So have you guys heard of terminal velocity, right? Yeah, terminal velocity. You guys heard of terminal velocity when a skydiver jumps off an airplane and it stops? What happens is they're saying that it stops accelerating. The fact is it stops decelerating because the air is also pushing up on it. So the air is pushing up on the skydiver, stopping its deceleration rate. And that's what terminal velocity is. It's the end of deceleration, not the end of acceleration. So they just inverted the physics, the globe Earth, because they have to make people believe that objects accelerate down in free fall. Without that belief, the globe Earth couldn't even exist on paper. Because again, if the Earth is moving up, right, and the Earth was a globe, and up is relative on a globe, because if you're standing here, up is this way. If you're standing down here, up is this way, in every direction away from the center. And we could prove that it's the Earth literally moving up. How would that work from a globe? How can the Earth move up in every direction at the same time if it was a globe? It wouldn't work. That would mean the Earth will have to expand and explode. You know, it's physically impossible.
Wait, why is there gravity on Earth but like not space?
Well, outer space is just a concept too. Nobody's been outside of the Earth contained system. Again, you want to know why space flight is impossible? Because any aircraft, like airplane or helicopter, they need to push off of the air to basically lift themselves, right? The air, exactly. But the air has to be at a certain density to be able to push off of it. The higher you elevate, the less dense the air becomes. In other words, aircraft cannot push off of it anymore. So they're claiming that they're able to go to outer space. That's retarded. That defies physics. So only NASA or space agencies will show us CGI of doing that. So it's all cartoons. Everything about outer space is cartoons. Nobody's been outside of the Earth system. Nobody's ever been higher than 25 miles. That's the fact. So airplanes, helicopters, nothing could.
When you say NASA is the one that has done it, you say like
any space agency that claims to do it, they always show CGI. It's not real. It's all cartoons.
So you're saying like
that's all CGI. That's all. Well, not
fake?
the moon landing. No, the rocket ships are real, but they don't go to outer space. I don't know if you know. They always go in a curve.
So you're saying the moon landing is fake?
100%.
Yo,
100%.
Yo, he's saying
the moon landing was
But isn't
fake.
there a robot?
no
like,
one's
on
ever
Mars?
left the Earth.
That's what they
He's
say.
saying it's impossible.
It's physically
like not
impossible.
even rocket ships.
What
like, go
about
that
Dude
far.
Perfect?
What about them?
They went to space. No. They actually went to space.
They go to
No.
space.
No, he's talking about like, you know how like the first man put the flag on the moon?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's saying that's never happened.
That was done in a
I
studio.
I
don't believe
I
that
believe the movie
Yeah, that was done in a
fake.
studio. Have you guys seen the footage?
Yeah, that-
it's
that's
fucking
weird.
laughable.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fucking
No,
laughable.
but Dude
It's a
Perfect
joke.
went to space.
Outer space doesn't
I don't
exist like
believe
we're being
that.
told.
Promise you, bro.
No, but like, I feel like our technology is advanced enough to hit the
Yeah.
moon.
Let me ask you
because
guys
they
this.
didn't like fully.
Obviously, you guys believe the Earth is a globe, right?
Yeah.
What convinces you that the Earth is a globe? What physics convinces you that the Earth is
Well,
a
I
globe?
don't know, to be honest. I
Will
just,
it be fair to say that you guys just believe it?
oh yeah.
So just like a religion,
Yeah,
a
it's
religion
like
is based on faith. People believe Jesus walked on water. That defies physics. That's no different than people believing there's acceleration without effects of acceleration. That defies physics too. So again, the globe Earth concept, the whole heliocentric model, is a religion. Want to know why too? Every religion gives you a creation story. Nobody knows how this place came to be, but the globe Earth gives you a creation story with evolution and the Big Bang. That's no different than any other religion that tells you how this place came to be. Nobody knows it. And that's the fact. So the globe Earth is a religion. It's based on faith, and they're telling you how this place came to be and what it is. Yes,
like,
exactly. So this is the number one censored topic because it's the easiest to prove.
How come like this is not popular?
Because the powers that be don't want people to find out
Wait,
their
so
true
like,
nature.
I don't mean to be rude.
Sure.
But can I ask like, what's your profession? Like,
Oh, well, my profession is being human and understanding my reality. I mean, we understand cause and effect, right? When something happens, this happens. Like if you cut yourself, you're gonna bleed because your veins. You know, I don't need to be a professor to understand that. So again, understanding my reality, playing with my reality, understanding cause and effect is what's gonna debunk the globe. So again, acceleration requires a cause, which is a force, and there's also effects of acceleration when you claim acceleration. So there's a cause and effect that's not there in free fall. That's how easily you debunk it. You know, and again, the motionless flat Earth is there to keep that idea alive,
you know what you should
which is
do?
bullshit.
You should make a TikTok.
I thought about making like an Instagram and a TikTok too to reach the youth more because this is, believe it or not, the older people are irrelevant when it comes to it. Not irrelevant, but it's the youth is the future at the end of the day. So it's about getting you guys to understand this so that when you guys have kids, you guys don't teach them, you know, lies, you know. Because my parents just believe everything they were told. You know, I had to come on this on my own. You know, I came across this subject 8 years ago. So I didn't come across the push of the earth though like 2 years ago. That's how censored it is.
So what did you believe for the like 6 years until?
I didn't talk about the gravity aspect. I always avoided it. And it was because, again, I didn't really understand when people would claim, oh, things fall just because of their weight. But you need a force to have weight. In free fall, you're weightless.
Like, can you jump?
Wait,
real
can you
quick?
jump off that?
Wait, jump real quick.
No, have you guys heard of zero-G planes?
No, I haven't.
So when you're inside a plane and it goes into free fall, you experience
Wait,
weightlessness.
but I don't.
In free fall, you're
So
weightless.
you're saying if I jump,
Wait.
the Earth's pushing up.
So the Earth's
to
pushing
bring
up,
it
so
down.
when you jump,
So
you-
when I jump and he's standing still, how is it going upward?
Well, everything's moving up right now. When you jump, because of
So what-
inertia,
you're
you start
saying-
losing momentum right
you're
away.
saying
So the
we're-
Earth catches up again. You never move back down. The Earth catches up to you.
So you're saying we're constantly.
Yes, constantly moving up. Yeah. So here, let me give you guys my channel. Do you guys have any questions before you guys go, or? Aliens? I believe in extraterrestrials, but they're here in the extra land, in the extra terra firma.
Like dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs, I don't really go into that because that supposedly happened millions of years ago, and I don't talk about things I can't prove myself. But here, you guys want to take one?
We're sure.
Yeah, you guys can share. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my channel. You guys can check it out. YouTube, yeah. I'm live right now too, so you guys can check it out. Some of the comments.
No, you should make a TikTok.
No, yeah, maybe. I'll think about it.
This information would definitely get.
I have
bigger
to
on
shorten it
TikTok.
and make it, you know, quick.
Yeah.
I get it. No, yeah,
You could
definitely.
also stream on TikTok too.
Oh yeah,
And
true.
yeah, you get paid off TikTok.
True, but again, I don't think they'll allow me to do that. But you
They
know,
probably will.
maybe they'll kick me out of TikTok. Who knows? But who knows? You know?
Alright, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys follow me. You guys don't know. I'll definitely share it if I do. Yeah, they kind of started a little bit like, I wouldn't say trolly, obviously, but just like a little, not taking it so serious at first. But then obviously, once you present physics, simple physics that contradicts what we were told, it just clicks. You know, you can't deny it. That's my point. Once you can deny something, it's hard for you to ridicule it, right? Especially once it makes sense. Once something makes sense, how can you ridicule it? You feel stupid ridiculing it, huh? So again, it's just about presenting this in the most simplest way possible and the most practical way as well. You know, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have the same senses. You know, that's where common sense comes in, because we all have the same senses. And again, it's basic understanding, you know, of cause and effect. That's it. You know, literally that simple.
What are you doing for your brother?
So I'm actually challenging the students to see if they answer 2 very easy questions. You want to give it a shot? You have to do it with water. So here, let me just clean out the first one. So I have 3 water bottles here, and they're halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see. And they're all at rest, by the way. But how I'm showing them to you, what's the difference between these 3 water bottles?
That's the question?
Yeah, that's the question. What's the difference between these 3 water bottles? Yes.
When the first one, the water is displaced to the top, and
Yes.
the ball's at the bottom.
Why is that?
Okay. Well, you gotta give me a sec.
Yeah, sure. So you got it. Yeah, the water's obviously on the top, but why is the water on the top?
How is it or why?
Why or how? Either way. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty hard. I don't know. Do 5th graders know this stuff?
I mean, everybody gets it, right?
It's 5th graders now, shit, they're like smart now. Because look, you don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It has to do with the orientation of the bottle.
Okay.
That's the difference between all 3. So if you could put them in the correct orientation, you could flip them if you need. Okay. All right. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah?
You got it.
Yeah?
You got it.
Let's go, brother.
So yeah, obviously the water, because it's more dense, it seeks the lowest point, and the air gets pushed to the top. So again, yeah, you got it. It's literally that
Good.
simple.
Okay,
So yeah.
okay.
So one more, and then see if you. The next one's a little bit easier in my opinion.
Okay.
And see if you get it. All right. So.
Wait, so why are you doing this?
I'm doing this to spread awareness, because common
spread
sense,
knowledge.
just common sense, because common
I've
sense
seen this
nowadays.
on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do this type of thing, but yeah. So this one, 3 box trucks filled with water, halfway filled with water again, except this one, only 1 is at rest, 1 is accelerating forward, and 1 is accelerating in reverse. So which one is at rest?
If it was accelerating forward, it would be this one.
Yes, you got it.
Backwards, so then this would be rest.
Yes. So why would this one be accelerating forward, if I may ask?
Because when motion, like this is physics, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Like when, what is it? Is it momentum? It's like the P equals mv.
Sure. Well, it has to do with inertia.
Oh.
So the resistance to motion.
Right.
Yeah, so when I accelerate this container to the front, I can even demonstrate it here, look. So it's at level when it's at rest, right? When I accelerate this way, because of inertia, the water wants to remain at rest, it pushes back.
Okay.
Right? And if I go that way, it goes this way. My question to you is, do you think it's possible to accelerate this container across the table in 1 second without that effect happening?
You'd have to go slow enough.
No, but we're talking about acceleration in 1 second.
Oh.
You think it's
Like
possible without the water moving? Would you say that's possible?
No.
No, it's impossible. Exactly. It's like claiming you accelerate, but the water remains level.
Yeah.
That defies
That's not
physics.
possible.
Exactly. So the real reason I'm doing this is because not only do people believe you can accelerate this without displacing in 4 feet, they actually believe they could do that in 16 feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You want to know why people believe that?
Why?
Do you believe the Earth is a globe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I hold this at rest, for example, and I release it, you believe it accelerates down to the Earth?
Yeah.
So when I actually accelerate versus free fall, here I have it ready here. The one on the right, you can see that the water instantly reacts to that acceleration. It displaces to the back.
Yeah.
The one on the left, there is no
Wait,
reaction.
so people who don't believe that, like if people are saying flat Earth, like people are actually like, no, that's
No.
crazy.
So here's the thing. Gravity, again, they're claiming acceleration without any effects of acceleration, which doesn't exist. So the fact is, gravity, I don't know if you knew, is just a theory.
It's just a theory.
Yes,
yeah.
and it's a theory because they've never measured a physical downwards acceleration in free fall. So the fact is, the Earth doesn't pull you down or accelerate you down to the Earth. It's literally the Earth pushing up against you right now.
Oh.
So that's the reality.
So like when they say G equals negative 9.8, like you've heard that before.
Yes.
The gravitational pull, is that just still a theoretical value?
Yes,
then?
it's a
Oh,
theoretical
really?
value. Yes. So
Okay, I
again,
didn't know that.
yes. So
That's interesting.
again, this will be another accelerometer, for example. Because again, when it's at rest and you have a buoyant object in water, for example, and you move it, doesn't matter how fast you move it, but when it's at rest and you move it, there's a reaction.
Right.
The buoyant object gets pushed in that same direction you accelerate. If I accelerate this one, the ball gets pushed that way too. Look.
Right.
because it's less dense, so the water's able to carry it. In other words, so in other words, buoyancy shows you the direction that the force is being applied.
I got you.
So in order to, again, for this to move, you have to accelerate it. So again, I'll show you this with the ping pong ball as well. Again, the one on the right, the ping pong ball gets pushed down instantly as soon as I actually accelerate. But the one on the left, again, no effects of acceleration.
I see.
So again, gravity is just a theory because it doesn't exist.
theory.
There's no acceleration down.
I see.
So what's happening is when you release this,
Yeah.
it starts to decelerate.
Okay.
So it's the Earth that comes up to meet it.
Okay.
So this doesn't move down, it's the Earth that comes up.
But how is the Earth coming up? Like I don't understand.
Now, that's what I'm saying. So you believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So if up is relative on a ball, so when you're standing here, up is this way. When you're standing here, and if we could prove that it's literally the Earth moving up, how would that work from a ball, Earth, if it's the ground moving up?
How could we prove that we're moving up?
No, how would that work from a ball, Earth?
Uh-huh.
If it was the Earth moving up, right? And up is relative, right? It has, up
Correct.
How can the Earth move up simultaneously in every direction if it was a ball?
Well, that's how it is, right? Because if I'm anywhere on the ball,
Yeah.
up is just gonna be up. Like,
Yeah.
Like it. So
So if you're, for example,
not
if
sure.
you're standing here and it's the Earth moving up to you, how can the Earth move up this way and this way and this way and this way at the same time?
it can't.
Exactly, it's physically impossible. So in
Yeah.
other words, they have to make people believe that gravity is a pulling force first in order to believe in the ball Earth. So without gravity as a pulling
So what's
force,
your belief? If I
the
can
fact
ask?
is that Earth is a level plane. And it's a level plane because it's relative to the vertical. It's perpendicular to the vertical, which is the Earth's motion. So the Earth is literally moving up like this. And it's a level. So the flat Earth is the false dichotomy with the globe Earth because they claim the Earth is motionless. So they also believe that objects accelerate down, which is keeping this whole globe Earth idea alive. So that's the false dichotomy. The whole flat Earth is bullshit because they claim the Earth is motionless.
Okay. Okay. I have a question
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
I'm gonna use my phone real quick.
Sure, please.
Because like that doesn't make sense to me.
Sure. Tell me what doesn't make sense and I'll try to simplify it. You're looking something up?
Yeah.
No worries.
Because like I low-key have not talked to someone who doesn't believe that the
Earth is a ball?
round.
Okay.
So I have to ask you a bunch of questions.
Sure.
And if you don't mind me asking, like, are you a student here? Or?
No, I'm not a student. I'm just here to challenge the narrative.
Well, I mean, college campus is a good
Oh yeah, the best place in my opinion. Yeah. I also go out in public sometimes. I used to go mainly just in public, but I just gravitated towards colleges.
Gravitated.
Yeah, for some reason. I just come to universities. I go to USC. I've gone to UC Irvine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't gone to UCLA though, but that is my next stop for sure. Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna get that many people stopping during finals week. But I finished my final early.
Oh, I noticed that it was pretty empty today too, and I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe because of winter break, finals. Yeah.
Most people left on like Thursday.
Makes sense. I probably won't be back here till next year. For sure.
So you're saying that you believe that the Earth is a horizontal plane?
Yes. I like to use that
and
word.
It's spread out like along
Yes.
an X amount of distance.
In my opinion, too, it doesn't go on infinitely forever because a lot of flat earthers will say that
They
it's
would
infinite.
say that.
That's retarded. The
Okay.
fact is, the Earth is a contained system, in my
Okay,
opinion.
got you. I got
So
you.
it's moving up too. So we're inside of it.
So what would the end of the Earth look like then?
Well,
Like,
I wouldn't know. I would like to know if
but-
more people.
But if it's not infinite, why can't you travel there? Or
Boy-
like, why hasn't someone traveled?
Have you heard of the Antarctic Treaty?
No.
So it's over 57 nations have signed this treaty, the UN,
Okay.
and they prevent any independent explorer from actually doing that. So if you were a millionaire, like an independent millionaire, like obviously, and you wanted to explore this place, you're not allowed to.
you can't explore the furthest point.
They won't allow you.
In
In other
Antarctica.
words, yeah, exactly. They give excuses like,
Wait,
oh,
that's actually crazy.
yeah,
So no one, like no public people
Can explore
can explore the furthest place in Antarctica.
Yes.
Which means that we wouldn't even be able to tell if there's like an end or whatever.
would I think if we actually did, maybe they found the end
Okay,
already.
what's your explanation? What's your justification then? Because look, with round Earth, I can claim that that the Earth is just infinite.
You just
right?
come
'Cause
back
you-
to the same
you
spot.
come
Yeah.
back to the same spot. And you're saying that there's something at the end, or like
Yeah,
what?
a
Because
barrier.
If it's not infinite.
A physical barrier.
Okay,
so,
so-
we're being contained like animals in a way.
Okay.
You know?
So
I mean,
you
we are
think, like-
animals, but
Okay. So then that also brings up, like, this is non-scientific. It's more like spiritual. I would
Sure,
say.
sure.
But like, what would you say? Like, who's imposing these barriers? Like, is the government the you know, like that third person?
I would say the
That's
government is just an entity. So the people behind the government that created the government are the ones really pulling the strings. So all these representatives, presidents, governors, they're all just pawns.
Got you.
You know, so the real people that are behind this, I have no clue. I think they're really old though. I think the people that
Or
started,
maybe it's not a person. Maybe it's like,
it could
you
be.
know,
Some people think
like
it could be another human form.
Yeah, or
kind.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be. It could
That's
be.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we're the only intelligent like that can create.
Okay, how
You know,
about
could
this?
be-
How about this? When you're flying,
Yes.
right? If you fly past Antarctica,
Yes.
what is that barrier gonna do? There are planes that go and fly above those places, I'm sure.
Not
Maybe we
close
can
to Antarctica.
search.
Not
Really?
so the all flights
that
go
doesn't
north.
make sense for them to go to the North Pole or like South Pole.
Yeah. So any flights that will be a shortest distance, just from flying over Antarctica, or those flights don't exist. So again, because the globe Earth is a concept, nobody knows. Actually, here's the thing: nobody knows the full layout of the continents. We only accept what we're told. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, I don't know if you knew though. Any map that you've ever seen, the Mercator maps, all of these projections, none of them are correct, and they admit to that. They say that an accurate map of the Earth doesn't exist.
Oh, really?
Even the mainstream says that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, to me, the layout of the continents
Yeah.
and how many continents there are,
Yeah.
it's completely unknown. But what shows us that the Earth is not a globe? Physics. Water doesn't have the physical ability to
It was
bend.
12:30. I gotta head. to
No, appreciate
work,
that. Here,
but
give me my channel. Did I give you one?
it's
No,
actually,
right?
yeah, no, you did
Here you go.
not. All
Yeah,
right,
check it
cool.
out. I do open panels
Nice
all the
to
time.
meet you.
Yeah, nice to
Alright.
meet you too. Appreciate that. Yeah, you too. Yeah, really good conversations lately. It's really, really good. Let me check some of the comments. Say hi to the people that joined. What's up, City, Andrew, Simon, Imran, Sean, Tina, Scotty Boy, JC, Malcolm, Salinellian, Call 40, JT, True Creation, Boom Me, B Thomas. What's up, everyone? If I didn't say your name, it's probably because your comment's being hidden. Let me see if I can go to the top all messages. Yeah, hopefully I got everyone. But yeah, thanks for everyone that joined the stream, you know, and show some support. You know, I really do appreciate it, especially with how censored this topic is, how censored my channel is as well. I really do appreciate people that share it, that like it, that watch it, you know. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I was talking about the no pressure and free fall, huh? That's the video I was going over before they came up to the table. Again, in order for water to have pressure, the container needs to be in motion. Fact. Because again, if you apply pressure on the container and you don't move the container, that pressure doesn't get transferred to the water. In other words, you can't create pressure in water without the motion of the container. That's a fact. Without a force moving it. The force needs to be greater than the resistance, because once it starts moving, then that motion, that push of the bottle pushing on the water creates the pressure in water, which creates the buoyant effect. A less dense object will get pushed to the lower pressure area, which will be in the direction of the force. So it's literally that simple. So again, again, all of these things are obvious, you know. It's just like explaining it in a simple fashion like that. It kind of clicked for me the other day. So it's like, oh shit, I should talk about it in that sense, where it's like you could apply pressure on it, but if it's not moving, that pressure won't transfer over to the water. The only way to transfer over to the water is for the container to be moving. The force has to be great enough to push it, to move it, so that that motion gets transferred to the water, and then that water, obviously now because of inertia, it's resisting that motion, and now it's creating pressure. You know, it's literally that simple. I can't believe it. Like, it's fucking crazy. Another thing I was thinking about you know, when I was driving here, I was tripping out like there's no way that this is it. Like this society that they tell us, like there's no way. In my opinion, it's just a thought. This is just a thought. In my opinion, obviously the North is a reference point, right? In my opinion, there are more reference points. Again, I can't prove that. It's just a thought I have. You know, there could be other other, you know, reference points like the North. You know, there could be other ones. You know, who's to say there's just one? You know, why just one, right? You know, it could be multiple reference points. And each reference point has their own little civilizations, right? So, since they got us all stuck in this reference point, who's to say that there's not another reference point with a completely different civilization, actual true civilization that actually relies on common sense, you know? That could be existing right now as we speak, but we have no clue, you know? And you're back. You want to give this a shot?
I just want to understand what you...
Did he tell you what the topic's about, or you just...
The Earth is flat.
Okay, so you know the topic, so I guess I'll just get right into it. So, the globe Earth concept has to make people believe that when I release this into freefall, that this actually accelerated down to the Earth. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
That when I have this at rest, for example, and I release it, do you believe this accelerated down to the Earth? Like you got pulled by gravity?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you knew this, gravity as a force is just a theory. So the reason why is because, for example, this is an accelerometer. And the reason why this is an accelerometer, because when it's at rest and I move it doesn't matter how fast I move it, but when it's at rest and I move it, the ball always reacts to that. It's always going to move relative to the direction I accelerate, 100% of the time, regardless of the speed, right? In free fall, however, let me just show you this. When I actually accelerate down versus free fall, and this is how easily gravity is debunked. When I actually accelerate down, which is the one on the right, you can see that the ping pong ball gets pushed down because it's reacting to a force. That's what matter does. It reacts to a force. The one on the left, they're claiming acceleration down without any effects of acceleration. So in other words, a physical measurement of downwards acceleration has never been proven, and that's why gravity is just a theory. So yeah, so buoyancy, you know what buoyancy is, right?
Yeah.
So buoyancy is the effect of a container that's in motion, because in order to have buoyancy or recreate buoyancy, I have to push the container, and the pressure of me pushing it pushes the water, which pushes the ping pong ball. Look, if I push it that way, the ping pong ball also goes that way. Do you see that? The initial push?
Yeah.
So again, buoyancy, matter cannot move on its own. So it requires an external force to push it. So right now, if I stick out the screen, the string, what direction is the ball being pushed?
Took out the string.
If I cut the string right now, what direction will the ball be pushed?
It will go down, right?
No, it will go up because it's a buoyant. It's not a
I'm
rock.
tripping. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it go up. Just like a helium balloon goes up. But we know helium can't move itself, so it's the air pushing it up. But we know air can't push itself, so what's pushing up the air? It's the ground.
I thought helium was just lighter than oxygen.
Yeah, it is lighter than oxygen. But what about it being lighter that it gets pushed up? It means the air also has to be moving up to be able to push the helium up because it's less dense, like you said. So something that's not less dense than the air, like this is more dense than the air can't push it up because it's more dense. So what happens is, because it's the Earth pushing up on the air, which is pushing up on the helium, this doesn't go down, it's the Earth that comes up to meet it. That motion of the Earth moving up is what gives us our pressure gradient on the air, and it's what pushes things up that's less dense in the air. And then things that are more dense like this, the Earth just catches up to it.
How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, understanding the cause and effect of buoyancy.
Did you research this?
I did research this, you could say that, but I mainly made experiments myself that proved to myself that why gravity is not a real force, and that's why they call it a theory. So again, the reason why gravity is a theory is because they have to make people believe that objects accelerate, because without that belief, the globe Earth wouldn't exist. Because if we could prove that it's the ground literally moving up, pushing up against you, and up is relative on a ball, how can the ground be moving up simultaneously in every direction on the ball? If it was a ball. That wouldn't work. That would mean the Earth will have to be growing in every direction, pushing up in every direction. It would explode. It wouldn't work. It would be retarded, in other words, to believe that. That's why they have to make people believe in a pulling force of gravity first in order to accept the ball Earth theory. Because it's a theory based on a theory. The globe Earth.
Where did you gain this knowledge?
So I'm not gonna lie to you, I came across flat Earth 8 years ago in 2016, and I didn't come across the push of the Earth until like 2 years ago. So all of these motionless flat earthers, mainstream flat earthers online, are all derailing people. They're all keeping people distracted, basically. In other words, they're basically they're claiming downwards acceleration as well, because they're claiming the Earth is motionless. So that's the false dichotomy. The globe Earth and flat Earth are the same thing. They both claim a physical downwards acceleration, which doesn't exist. The fact is the Earth literally pushing up against you, and that debunks the whole globe Earth model, because without that pulling force of gravity, you have no model. You know. So again, we live on a level. We're all standing up. Everybody's up is the same. So everybody's up is parallel. You know what parallel is, right? On a globe Earth, everybody's up wouldn't be parallel. They'll all be converging to the center. All vertical lines converge to a center, but the fact is all vertical lines are parallel in reality. And this is part of construction too. You could look at blueprints, and engineers know this. It's just that they believe the Earth is a globe. They explain it by, oh, the Earth is just so big, so locally everything is parallel. But it doesn't matter the distance, that's the fact. You know, all verticals are parallels. You know. So again, physics is what understanding physics. It's understanding your common sense over explanations. This was gonna prove to you.
What would happen if you had a conversation with the physics professor?
I have. They literally get triggered eventually, and most of them admit that gravity is just a theory, but it's the best explanation we have. That's what they say. So they're okay with just having a belief.
So would your thought also be a theory?
No, it can be recreated. Buoyancy can be recreated again. The effects of all the effects we experience here, like weight, all that, can be recreated by using a push, a force.
It's not a theory, then why is that?
Because they want to make people believe the Earth is a globe. Because they want to dumb people down. That's what it's about. It's about dumbing people down so that they're more easily controllable. It's about control at the end of the day. So this whole globe Earth lie is a cheap shot on our common sense when we're very young, so that we give away our common sense over authority. So again, yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Here, let me give you a flyer just in case, you know. I do have open panels, so if you do come across like a professor that wants to speak to someone, I usually do open panels in the night. Less than 30 minutes. Yeah. All right, you guys take care. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna wait like another 15. Oh, sure. It is a little cold. Not too bad though, but I'll go over the comments to see if there's any questions or any trolls, I guess, right? And see if I can answer any questions, any relevant questions real quick while we wait. So let me see. I don't want to go too far back. I guess I'll go a little back. Let me see. Level-headed Natalie. It's crazy that William's channel isn't bigger. Not that he cares. By now, since he's one of the only ones actually going to talk to the public, he rarely gets shared by other channels too. It's weird. yeah, it is. But obviously, all these mainstream flat earth channels, all these fucking gatekeepers, you really think they're gonna share my channel? Think about it. You know, channels that have over 100,000 subs, over 50,000 subs, right? You would think they'll be sharing my channel because, oh shit, he's actually out there in public, speaking to new people, sharing it, using a method of approach that works, you know, all of this. You would think so, right? To help my channel grow, to reach more people, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Again, it's not about me and growing my channel, it's about reaching new people. It's about reaching more people, right? So the fact that all of these mainstream flat earth channels, they know about my channel. How do I know that? Because they leave comments. They've left comments before. But they'll never share my content. They'll never share my content. They'll never share my channel. Why? Because it's gonna expose them. They'll be exposing themselves if they shared my channel. You know, so it's no given. I get it, you know, but yeah, obviously with the YouTube algorithm going against channels like mine's and Dell's, you know, obviously removing views, removing likes, comments, and obviously all these channels not sharing or talking about it. And again, they don't even have to talk about my channel. Just simply talk about the experiments. They don't, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, it is true, you know. I wish more people were out speaking to the public, because and if we know that if this stays on the internet, it's not going to go nowhere. We know this. Like, that's not even up for debate. We know that if this stays online, it's not going to go nowhere. Fact. Reality is not, doesn't exist online. Reality is right here in the real world. When you go outside of your house and talk to real people, that's how it's gonna move forward. So again, being that I'm like one of the only ones doing this right now, obviously Dell, does his thing as well, but and then people are not like, I guess, getting pumped up by it, I guess, because when I would see Dell go out in public, for example, it will pump me up. Why? Because I would see how confident he will present this, how simple he will, present this, and how people didn't have nothing to refute it. It just gave me more confidence, right? So the fact that I'm doing this, the same thing is, and I'm not really seeing like, oh shit, people becoming more confident or at least having the guts to go out themselves is a little discouraging, obviously. But at the end of the day, I don't do things I'm doing this for myself at the end of the day, and secondly, to try to help others. So that's the main reason why I do this. I do this for myself and also to try to help others understand their reality. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about subscribers. I don't really give a fuck about views. All of that. It's irrelevant. That's how they're controlling this. That's how they're controlling the narrative. Is by influence people with subscribers and views, and it's still happening today. Like, it's so fucking crazy, But like we heard some of the conversations, they literally said, oh, I've heard of flat earth and I've heard some of the debates, but they don't really prove anything, which is true. If you're not talking about physics and you're just talking about fucking speculation about fucking looking at the sun or looking at the fucking stars or long distance observations, for example, if you're just talking about vision alone, it's not gonna go nowhere and it's gonna turn people off. I mean, we literally heard it from the horse's mouth. People that hear about flat earth and globe earth and listen to a conversation is usually about bullshit or nonsense. They're gonna get turned off. I get turned off. No given. Because people want to actually understand physically, like, what proves to you that the earth is not a globe or that the earth is flat or level, right? People don't want to hear about your speculations or your theories or what you think is going on that proves the flat earth. Fuck your thoughts. Fuck your theories. Fuck your feelings. Stick to the practical, stick to the physics. Again, demonstrating it to people in a very simplistic, practical way is what's going to destroy the globe earth concept in their minds. You start talking about NASA fakery and how they have glitches all the time. That's fucking bullshit. Because they can easily explain that, well, it's technology. Technology is not perfect. There's going to be glitches. So the fact that you think the earth is flat because there's glitches, that's retarded. That is retarded. I agree with Globers when they say that. When they say that, oh, that doesn't prove that the earth is flat just because we never went to the moon, for example. They're right. Just because they faked the moon landings, that doesn't prove that the earth is flat. Just because NASA has a bunch of fucking anomalies or fucking glitches in their fucking videos, that doesn't prove the earth is flat or level, I'm using the word flat just in general. Because Earth is not flat, obviously it's level. But again, focusing on these fucking glitches and flight paths and observations of the sun and any visual proof for that matter is not a proof. And globe earthers recognize that. I mean, they don't recognize that from their own model because they have a bias, but they'll quickly call it out when you bring up visual proofsies. Again, even though they still believe in visual proofsies, that's kind of a contradiction, but that's not the point. The point is that you're perpetuating this bullshit of explanations versus explanations. And who has the better explanation is who's going to prove that the earth is flat or a globe. It's fucking retarded. Fucking retarded. And again, that's how they're fucking controlling this information. That's how they're able to suppress channels like mine and Dell's. And that's how they're able to get away with all of this bullshit, is because they're perpetuating fucking ideas versus other ideas, or explanations versus their explanation, when we should be just throwing all of that out of the fucking window and stick to the practical. Stick to the physics that shows that physical downwards acceleration is physically impossible. The physics that shows that the surface of water when containing at rest is always going to be level. These are the two simplest proofs that a child can understand that destroys the whole heliocentric model. The fact that all of these fucking mainstream flat earth channels with over 100,000 subs never talk about that is fucking telling. If you guys haven't figured that out, that these motherfuckers are at it, then I can't help you. Again, saying names of who these people are is irrelevant. It's the techniques, is the sophistry they're using, the lies they're telling that contradicts what we understand. This was going to show you who's a lying piece of shit and who's not. You know? Again, you shouldn't have someone like me or Dale tell you who's controlling, who's not. You should be able to figure that on your own. It's part of having discernment. It's part of having an understanding. It's part of putting your emotions aside to come to that. I can't do that for you. I can't put your emotions aside for you. I can't think for you, you know? So even if I told you, it's irrelevant. You have to come to that. You have to go through the process of actually thinking about it and realizing shit for yourself. If you start relying on others to tell you, that's no different than the globe earth believers. They're relying on authority to tell them what to think. That's no different. If you want to be told, well, who's controlling, who's not, and who's telling lies and who's not, well, yeah, you're going to have to figure it out. How do you figure it out? Well, understand reality for yourself. Once you understand reality for yourself, then you have somebody come and tell me or say something that contradicts what we already know. Then you have to ask them, prove it practically. Show me that you can have acceleration without a force and without any effects of acceleration. Show me that. You can't? Oh, then you just have a theory like globe earthers, right? So you're just bullshit. Why do you believe that, right? Why do you believe you can have acceleration without a force and without displacement? Why? Besides the free fall test, for example, if you take the free fall out of it, why do people believe that? Because they're going to say, well, because when I release this, it visually accelerates down without displacement. So based on that, that's why I believe that. No, but that's what we're trying to prove. We're trying to prove that that kind of acceleration is impossible because it's not accelerating. So now you're going to need an experiment to recreate that kind of acceleration with your proposed cause. You're going to need a cause to be able to accelerate again without any pressure and without any displacement. Good luck, you know. And again, I'm not trying to come off, I don't even think I'm coming off rude. If anybody thinks I'm being rude right now, you're fucking lost. Like, you literally need to get your emotions, you know, on check. Because if you think I'm just literally talking shit right now, and if you think that I'm being irrational, for example, you need to check in with yourself at the end of the day, you know. Because the problem is with you. The problem is with you letting your emotions take over. The problem is with you putting your responsibility on someone else to understand things for yourself. That's what the problem is. Oh shit. I need to put more time on my here, let's see. Yeah, I need to put more time on my parking. Yeah, 28 seconds left. Yeah, hopefully I didn't have any personal information. Now I didn't. So yeah, once this is over, I need to put like another 30 minutes. So it gives me enough time to set up. Oh, put the table away and all that. And maybe wait like another 10 minutes. See if somebody approaches the table. Alright, I'm gonna put another... There we go. I don't know if I should put 30 minutes right now. I'll put 30 minutes because honestly I don't plan on staying out here too much longer. Alright, so I'll wait like another 10 minutes, see if anybody approaches the table. I'll wait till the 2-hour mark. Fuck it. 10 more minutes literally. And then probably start wrapping it up after that. Let me check out the comments. Oh, I was reading that. Natalie, my guess is 60% are hate watchers at this time. Kind of like 2015 Flat Earth. Right. What's the name over here, Natalie? But Selenelian, never had a Natalie, but the trolls are all over you. Go figure, right? Lots of censorship with algorithm, booming. Boomy, I show this channel as one of the best to explain things. You know, I appreciate that, Boomy. Simon, Dell's channel froze at 27K and hasn't moved in years. They caught him off before he got too big. Same with William, exactly. I noticed that too. His channel just froze like at 27K, like, yeah, years ago. Like, even before I started making videos, and that was almost 3 years ago. So even before that, so yeah, Dell's been censored for a while. You know, I've noticed that. His views too, like, they went down, which doesn't make any sense. You know, but again, people are swayed by numbers. You know, at the end of the day, the numbers lie. You know, people need to realize that. Again, it's not about the subscriber count and the view count. It's about the content at the end of the day, and it's about reaching new people. That's what's that it is moving forward. It's just not reflecting, right? The numbers are not reflecting that. That doesn't mean it's not moving forward. It's definitely moving forward. Like, this is too simple to understand to not move forward. It's too easy. It's too easy, you know. Andrew, what William is doing right now is the best way to get these out to the youth. Exactly. Again, because the youth are being bombarded right now with entertainment left, right, and center, especially with TikTok videos, you know, Instagram, and now, I hate to say it, now YouTube. There's a lot of content for people to watch, and that's besides TV, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't watch TV nowadays, right? Point being is that the youth is super distracted. Super distracted. Like, you got to understand that the youth is not going to come across this information on their own. They're not. We know that the algorithms are being fucked with. They're not going to get recommended real channels. They might get recommended some fake flat earth channels so that they can get turned off to it, but they're not going to get recommended someone like me or Dell that sticks to the facts, you know. And they know this. That's how they're able to control this information online, you know. And that's why coming out and speaking to them directly in an approach where they don't even know where the conversation's going, it's the best way. Because again, even if I had a table out here with the earth is not a globe, or a sign that said, you know, the earth is flat, right? Or something stupid like that, not only are a lot of students not going to approach the table, but they're going to ridicule it. And if they do come up, they're going to come up to try and prove me wrong. They're going to come already with their preconceived bias, their preconceived ideas, you know, and a bunch of questions, right? That if you can't answer these questions, well, you see, the earth cannot be flat because you can't even answer how the sun works. You don't even know how the constellations work and how they rotate in the opposite directions in the southern hemisphere. You can't explain that, so the earth is not flat, you see? The globe earth has an explanation for that. So again, like, people, if they already know what the topic's about, they most likely jump to shit like that. Again, things that don't make any fucking sense physically, but in their head, well, the globe earth model is better than the flat earth model because they can explain and predict all of these things about the sky. But physics, again, debunks the globe. We don't even need to go that route, which again is the Socratic method. It's making people understand basic physics that contradicts their beliefs. Once that clicks, or even if it makes a little bit of sense, they can't run away from it anymore. And you see it, you know, people have to concede. They have to, because if you don't concede, well, then demonstrate to me that acceleration without displacement is possible, for example, or that water can bend when contained and at rest from the surface. You know, that's when you can start calling out if they do not concede, or if they still believe otherwise. Then show me, right? So JT, nothing moving without the push. Exactly. Boomy, if Earth moving up, then I'm not sure of a dome now. What do you mean? Like, if this is moving, like, and this is the top of the container, like you think you're gonna crash into the ceiling? Like, if you're inside a house, for example, why would you think, again, I could be misunderstanding your point there, but why would you believe the ground is ever gonna hit the ceiling if the ceiling is also moving up? It's because it's part of the system. If the house is a container and you move the house, why would you expect to hit the ceiling? This doesn't make any sense, because again, it's all moving. Again, if you inside a house or a room and you make lights, you know, they say you create stars, kind of like a, what is it called, that when you go to the science fucking museums or the science space, you know, I forgot what they're called. Point being is they have a simulation of the sky of the stars, right? And they're just lights reflecting on the ceiling, right? If you start, you know, if it's moving up, why would you ever crash into those lights or the ceiling if it's all moving together? You know, that doesn't make any sense to me when people say that. Whoa, you crash into planes and you crash into birds and you eventually crash into the sun and the ceiling, right? Like, oh my God. Again, people coming up with these fucking excuses in their minds to dismiss the practical that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's hilarious. Oh my God. JT, don't know about the dome boom, but there is a container of some kind. Us having air pressure shows that. Exactly. Show me maintaining air pressure without a container. Again, here's another thing I've thought about before I end it. For the people that claim that Earth doesn't have a container or is not being contained, think about this. Are you saying that if you were to be able to physically just go in one direction, for example, up or left or right, any other direction, you know, horizontally or vertically, if you were just to go, you would just infinitely just go? Like if you were just to go up, you just infinitely go up? You'll never reach like some kind of barrier or a solid membrane? Is that what you believe? If you're claiming that the Earth is not contained and it's an open system, then that's no different than the globe Earth with an infinite, you know, of outer space, like, in my opinion. You know? So you just think you're just gonna go up forever into infinity, which again, I'm not saying it's not possible, but there could be infinite space or an infinite area, you know, outside of the Earth. But I'm just saying, like, that just seems, doesn't make any sense. You would have to claim the Earth is infinite too, because if you go in one direction laterally, eventually you're never going to reach a container. Earth is infinite then. If you believe the Earth is an open system and it's not being contained, by default you have to claim the Earth is infinite. You have to, because it's not being contained. There's no barrier, right? You could just go laterally. You'll never reach the container because there's no container apparently. So the Earth is just infinite in every direction and up too. And it must be down too. It's infinite Earth going down. If we were to be able to physically just dig, obviously it's impossible because there's limits. But theoretically, if we were to infinitely able to dig, people have to believe that it's just infinite Earth. You know? Like, what? What? Oh my God. So yeah, it's just ridiculous in my opinion, but again, this is my opinion, you know. Alright, let me just go to the most relevant comments right now. Or the most newer comments, and let me see. Booming law of movement. It is too simple. Exactly. It's too simple, man. Earthship Bear, call it what it is. We're in a freaking terrarium with a built-in planetarium. Okay, that's the term I was looking for earlier. When you're inside a planetarium, you know, and they simulate the lights in the sky, right? And if you were to move that room up, you'll never hit the ceiling. You never hit the lights because their lights are moving up as well with the system. It's all one system. Good point there. velocity, not infinite, but a lot bigger though. Yeah, I thought about that. It could be way bigger than we think, the Earth, but it also could be way smaller than we think. You know, that shouldn't be thrown out of the equation, in my opinion. The Earth could literally be smaller than we think, but it can also be way bigger than we think. For sure, in my opinion, it's not what we think. That's for sure. I can confidently say that, at least right now. It's not what we think it is when we're talking about the dimensions. You know, it could be way bigger than we think, or it could be way smaller than we think. We don't know. That's the fact. You know. Capivine Oki, what's up? There's a mechanism the whole construct is existing on /in. Yeah, I would agree to that. You know, for sure, the Earth, I look at it more like a machine. You know, I know a lot of people like to look at the Earth like a spiritual place, right? I don't. I like to look at the Earth like a machine. Because...
Is this for real?
I'm sorry?
Can I see if I'm smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah.
But like, I'm probably not though. What's going
You
on?
probably are. Yeah, everybody is, believe it or not.
Okay, I'm not taking it.
So, two very easy questions, and they have to do with water. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's water. So I have 3 water bottles here, and they're halfway filled with water. And I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see. Another thing is that all of these water bottles are at rest.
Yeah.
But how I'm showing them to you, what's the difference between the 3 water bottles?
Like how like the way they're laying?
Yeah, that is. Can you put them in the correct position, I guess?
Like what do you mean correct?
So you're saying that the difference is how they're laying, right? Okay, okay, you got it.
That one's a sit up. Yeah,
Yes.
because it's heavier. Like the blue stuff is probably heavier.
Yes. You guys got it. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that easy. Yeah, and it's because the water's heavier than the
We
air.
did this experiment in 6th grade.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. All right, so you guys got the first one, so that's pretty good.
what?
There's one more. One more. This one's actually easier, so you guys are good. So again, this one's a box truck halfway filled with water, except one of these is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. Which
Wait,
one's
accelerating forward. This is accelerating forward.
Yes.
This one is at rest,
Yes.
and that one's going backwards.
Yes. How did you guys know that?
Because well, if you drive
the pressure,
a
I mean gravity.
Like when it's moving left, the car's moving right.
Yeah, because of inertia.
Yes.
So,
Inertia,
that's-
yeah.
the driver's at
so again, when the water's at rest like this, and I accelerate that way, the water pushes this way.
Yeah.
Like that. You see that?
Inertia. I'll
And
think
then
gravity.
the opposite.
Is there anybody who's gotten these wrong?
No, believe it or not.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, mostly everybody gets them right. So the real reason I'm doing this is because
Are we on camera?
yeah.
Okay.
You guys are good. You guys are good though. So, do you think it's possible to accelerate this from being at rest, for example, across the table in 1 second, without that displacement, without that reorientation?
I mean, you could, but
If you could, please demonstrate it. Accelerate this across the table in 1
I can't
second.
actually do it, but aren't there those things like across? How you can have like a
Can you accelerate this without this effect happening from being at rest? That's the
Definitely without. But I'm thinking like, is there some kind of device
the
where you know how there's like cameras you can study them so that they don't like turn this way and that way? Like, what if there was something for like water like that? I don't think I could do that.
I think the only way is to freeze the water, like freeze it,
That makes sense.
and then it won't. But without freezing it though, you think it's possible to accelerate it without the reaction of the acceleration?
Wait, no, we did this. Wait.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Because that's why I'm here
There's
mainly.
probably a way out there, but we don't know.
So the
Wait, are you asking if it's possible
Okay,
to
here-
move?
He's asking us to try to.
So here's another thing. This is an accelerometer as well. It detects acceleration because again, we have a buoyant object inside of the water.
Yes.
From being at rest, if I move it, it doesn't matter how fast I move it, but if I move it from being at rest, the ball reacts. It gets pushed in that same direction I accelerate. So if I accelerate that way, the ball gets pushed that way. See that? Initially, it gets pushed that way because that's what buoyancy is. It's a push of the water, right? So let me ask you guys this: when I'm holding this right now and I release it into free fall, do you guys believe gravity accelerated down to the earth, like pulled it down to the earth?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Everybody believes that. That's why I'm
Why
here.
you be hesitant?
No.
Why?
So here's the fact though. When I actually accelerate down versus free fall, again, the one on the right, instantly the water reacts to that acceleration. It displaces, it moves because of inertia. The one on the left, there are no effects of acceleration. So there is no measurable force in free fall because I don't know if you guys knew, gravity is just a theory. So a physical measurement of downward acceleration has never been measured. And I did it with a ping pong ball too. Look, I'll show you guys.
I guess if you're dropping,
How
it's
did you
different
do
than
that,
if you like.
Look at this. So the one on the right, I actually accelerated down, and the ping pong ball gets pushed down instantly. Instantly, it reacts to the acceleration.
I get it.
The one on the left, there's no reaction.
But how do you do that?
You just dropped it from. So the
Yeah.
one
So
on the left, you
one
just dropped
one
it
I
from-
actually accelerated with my hand, and the other one I just dropped it like this.
Yeah.
But when you drop it, my point is it doesn't accelerate down to the earth.
But-
So what's happening is the earth doesn't pull you down; it's pushing up against
I guess
you.
if you just dropped it like that, then you'd have to make it fall like more than just.
But that defies physics because I could accelerate this. It doesn't matter how fast I move it; it's always going to react. Matter's always going to react to acceleration. That's my point. There, you know how
so
you know how
there's
fast
no-
they're claiming acceleration down in free fall? 9.8 meters per second. You know how fast that is? 32 feet in 1 second. You know how many tables that is? That's like 8 tables.
Oh really?
Then they're claiming that acceleration without any effects of
So
the of the matter.
basically,
So
what
gravity.
causes it to move is not gravity, but acceleration.
No, what causes it to move is when I release this doesn't move down to the earth. It's the earth that comes up to meet it. So everything's moving up right now.
Oh,
So the earth, so the pressure under your feet right now.
is that a theory?
No, that's a fact.
Is this?
So
I haven't
gravity,
taken a science
gravity.
class in a while.
So again, we're all standing on the earth, and the earth is literally moving up like that. Because that's what creates buoyancy too. When you let a helium balloon, what direction does the helium go?
Wait, the Earth is.
Right. And buoyancy is a push. It's because the air is pushing up the helium. What's pushing up the air? Exactly.
Okay.
It's a chain reaction of motion, buoyancy. And buoyancy, yeah. So here, let me show you this. I glued a ping pong ball to a slinky, and that shows the upwards push when it's connected to the earth. It's stretching the slinky. As soon as I release it into free fall, it's no longer experiencing that upwards push anymore. So the slinky contracts.
Yes.
Because you need a force, you need a push to push helium up or to push
Can't
buoyancy.
tell them.
Yeah.
I can't.
So
tell
here,
them if I
before you guys go, you guys believe the earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if up is relative on a ball, so if you're standing here, up is this way. If you're standing down here, up is this way. It's every direction away from the center.
Yeah.
If we could prove that it's literally the ground, the earth moving up, how would that work from a globe if the earth was moving up? How can the earth move up in every direction at the same time?
Is it because of the gravitational, not gravitational, the magnetic, force?
But what does that have to do with the earth moving up?
Well, because the Earth has its own, magnetic, field, no?
Yeah.
Sure,
right.
sure. But what?
It goes like this, and then there's like a center. Isn't
But
it
if
like
but
magnet
my
or
point is,
something?
if
And
it's the
there's earth
ground
around.
moving up
North
through
and south.
space and not the object moving down to the earth, it's literally the ground moving up through space. How can the earth move up simultaneously in every direction
Well, because-
at the same time? Because if it was a ball.
I don't know enough about the science, but isn't there? So there's like the core of the Earth, and then there's like everything around it, and because of I don't know, like whatever they're saying, gravitational pull, like magnetic forces, it's like pushing up, but then I guess outside forces in space are like pushing it in at the same time, which is why.
So it wouldn't move up then. That's what you're saying. But
I
what
guess-
if it was moving up?
I guess it would.
If it was,
I don't know. Like
So here's
I don't-
the- here's the
See,
fa-
you know more than us, so
Yeah.
I don't know enough to like actually say.
So if somebody's
what's
standing
correct.
here and it's moving up like that, and if somebody's standing here and it's moving down like this, that would mean the earth will have to be expanding in every direction.
Expanding.
It would explode. In other
But then-
words, it wouldn't work.
But then there's also forces coming from outside because there's also. Cause
Well,
there's
my
space.
point is that in order for people to believe that the Earth is a ball, they first have to believe that objects accelerate down in free fall, which is easily debunkable. So that I don't know if you guys know, gravity is just a theory because it has never been physically measured or proven, and that's why the theory of the ball Earth relies on the theory of gravity being a pulling force. But the fact is, gravity is not a pull; it's a push. It's a push of the Earth. So the fact is, the Earth is a level plane and it's pushing up against us, and basically everybody's up is the same. So they're trying to tell us that China's up is opposite of us. The fact is, we're all on the same level.
But wait, why?
We're all on the same level. So the-
Why? Why?
So
I don't. What I personally think is that I think there's probably like what you're saying. A lot of it is true, but also we can't confirm because we're just hearing it, and we need to like do our own research.
Exactly.
To know.
I've done a bunch of
No,
experiments.
of course,
Yeah.
you've done experiments, and if what you found is correct,
Yes.
then of course you would be like, this is true because I did an experiment. on it.
Exactly.
But
Wait, but did you figure out why, though?
We've never done
Why
experiments,
what?
so we don't
Why,
know.
like
personally.
it?
That.
The question you asked us, why? Like what?
What was the question?
Like how is it? How is it?
So the Earth is not a globe. That's the fact. Because it wouldn't work if the Earth was
Then
moving
what
up.
is it?
So it's a level plane.
So it's flat.
So they say flat, but it's not flat because flat Earth. I'm gonna tell you why flat Earth and globe Earth are the exact same thing. They're both. It's just a false dichotomy, just like Republicans versus Democrats. And the reason why is because over 95% of flat Earthers, especially on YouTube or online, they all claim the Earth is motionless. In other words, they also believe in a physical downward acceleration that doesn't exist. So that's why they're keeping the whole globe Earth idea alive. It's a face-to-face debate.
I can't believe this until I like,
but so you don't.
No, I don't expect to convince you guys right away.
I mean, I feel like I just can't accept like things that are being told to me before I go and do my own research.
Yes.
Because you can't just believe everything.
I'm not just telling you guys.
No,
I'm showing you.
You're showing us
I'm
examples,
showing you.
but like we don't. We should do it for ourselves so that we also believe it.
But then
that's how
also,
you believe
like,
it yourself.
are you saying like the pictures people have from outer space are fake?
They actually admit they're not real photographs. That's not even up for debate. NASA admits that they're all images, not photographs. They make them in a computer.
I could believe that some things can be
They don't even hide that.
But I need to go look myself.
No, yeah, definitely. So this is the number one censored topic online. In other words, if you come across another flat earther, they're all bullshit too. They either believe the shit they were told by other flat earthers, or they're controlled opposition. That's why they're keeping this whole information.
But what if they're
down.
just like other shapes that we just don't
Well,
know
the Earth, what the Earth's shape is as a whole, nobody knows. The surface we live on is level. It's a horizontal. So what's outside of the Earth, nobody knows. You know, that's all. It's all mystery. But they make people believe that there's other planets and outer space and all this, but that's all made up.
I don't want to say that.
It's all Disney for adults at the end of the day.
I think we need to do our own research first.
Definitely.
Yeah, and of course, I think
Wait, so like, what is
there's
this
probably
for, like,
other
school
factors that are
project or-
keeping.
No, I'm just doing this out of my free time to expose the lies we've been told since we were born. We've been lied to about this environment, about what the Earth actually is, which in default, you have to believe you're something you're not as well.
Well, like,
So
at
we've been
the
like-
same time, like, how do you think it affects your daily life?
Well, it affects my daily life because I'm literally living fake economic, like we're all part of the economic system, which is completely made up. I don't know if you guys knew that. We're inheriting a $50 trillion debt currency, and that's why taxes are so high. So everybody just accepts everything that we're told, and it's because people are not using common sense. So the whole globe Earth lie is not about the shape of the Earth; it's about crippling people's mentally, so that they're easily more controllable.
Do you plan to like? Is this like attempt to like change people's ideas to help try to change the system?
Yes, it's ultimately I'm trying to help people out understand their reality, because that is going to show that we shouldn't be living this way.
You should also include this whenever you talk to anybody.
100%, I do. I go to other universities as well, and I try to do this as much as I can because I actually have to work a full time as well. I'm part of the slave system as well, so I literally have to make time to do this because otherwise, you know, I'm not gonna move forward. A lot of these fucking flat earthers online, they all make money doing this. You know, they all ask for donations. They get, you know, I don't ask for nothing. I actually lose money doing this. I have to pay for parking. I have to pay for gas, and I lose time too with my kids and all that. But I feel like it's very important.
Do you
because
live stream on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm live streaming right now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but it's on me though. It's on me though. You guys should check it out. That's my channel.
on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. You guys should check it
I
out.
know, but don't you probably make money from?
No, I'm not monetized. And even if I did monetize, I think they'll just remove it, the monetization. No, there's only
my
two.
mom would like this.
There's only two channels.
Listen to my mom. I think she would too.
But yeah, I definitely have open panels as well. So if you guys know of a professor or somebody, they could have a chat with me. So I do open panels.
I think
on
there's
my
more.
channel.
I think I have more questions about like.
Yeah, well, I have to eat. I'm hungry though. I'm a
doing
privileged
my own
American, so I'm
research
gonna go to the dining
Definitely. Yeah, don't believe me.
Just believe everything you
Don't
do.
believe me. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, man, appreciate that. Alrighty, I'm gonna start wrapping it up. Yeah, before my parking expires again. Yeah, I like that conversation at the end. It was cool. They were a cool group. I mean, everybody that I spoke to today was pretty cool, you know. Not to take away from that, you know, but yeah. Start putting some stuff away. Ooh, ooh, I'm getting cold. Ooh. Alrighty. Thanks again for everyone. Oh, Martin Allen, good to see you. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Again, we had some really good conversations today. You know, definitely, you know, planted some seeds, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you can ask for. And yeah, thanks again for everybody that likes the videos, that shares them, that watches them. You know, I really do appreciate the support. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.